All right, we are live. Welcome to episode 3 of the Tactical Roundtable podcast. We're going to be talking about all things Ghost Recon Breakpoint today. I know we went on a little bit of a tangent last week talking about the Division Heartland, but we are going to be getting back to the basics, I guess you could say, with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. We got a boatload of new information surrounding Title Update 4.0 earlier today. We got a trailer, we got an article we're going to go down through. We're going to be engaging with the chat, everything like that with this new title update coming down the pipe. I am joined by the one and only G Money Mozart, the legend himself. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, you know what? Last time I told you when I'm introduced, I need applause in the background. We
Oh
need to, we need
yeah,
we need to work on
we
that.
dropped the ball on that one. Definitely dropped the ball on that one because I do not have
But
an applause. You get a magical applause from everyone in the chat.
let's go. Let's go. Let's get some bravos in chat for the one and only. Come on, guys. Come on. But
So
yeah,
yeah, what did you watch the trailer earlier today?
yes, I watched the trailer. I dissected the trailer. I spoke about what I saw, put a video up. For all of you that don't know, go watch go watch the video.
Yes, go watch G
And
Money's video.
hit that
I'm
like
sure
button.
there's a bunch of people in here that are here for you and not me anyway. So,
No, no, no. They're here for your beautiful face, man.
oh
Except you
yeah,
don't show it enough. They want you they want to see it. They want to
yeah. We
see
see these little
the good looks.
icons lighting up. I promise you guys soon we will get the webcam and all that stuff sorted out so you can see G Money's beautiful face. So real quick before we jump into that, Riley McQuillan coming in with the super chat already,
Ooh,
popping off
we're
already.
not
Let's
even
have a
in.
good talk, folks. Yeah, this is gonna be. You guys know how these go. There's a possibility that we could ramble on for 5 or 6 hours. You never know.
You never know.
You
But
never
yeah,
know.
let's get to the meat of this. Let's really dissect what we saw today in the trailer, what they put on the forums, and figure out if the majority of us are happy with this. Or, did we expect it? What did we see coming? I'd like to really see what chat is thinking, the overall sense of the community. I know on Reddit, supposedly, they were somewhat happy. The forums, like always, a lot of the hardcore community members who are always posting were not too pleased, which I understand. But let me know for you guys who are here right now, who've popped in. I see about 100 or so of you. Let us know in chat what you guys thought while we go through this.
Yeah, let's do something simple here off the rip. If you guys enjoyed what you saw earlier today with the news article and the new trailer showcasing the teammate experience, if you enjoyed it, put a 1 in the chat. If you did not like what you saw, put a 2 in the chat. That'll be a simple thing that we can kind of go off of here. John Keegan, how are you? G Money, what's up, brother? What's going on, man? I am good. We
What's up,
finally got
Keith?
some new information. We got some ghillies. We got some helmets with the gas masks. I know a lot of people have been talking about that. So lots to go over.
Got
So
some
okay, let's see.
ones, got some
We've got a
ones.
3.
We got a three. There's always that one
There's always a
guy.
3. 1 and 2. If you
All
had to
right,
put
so
something in there, G, 1 or a 2, with what you saw,
oh,
I put you on
man.
the spot.
Oh,
I would almost say
I got
1.5.
I gotta stay true to myself.
Uh-oh. I knew I was say G Money coming in with a 2.
I gotta stay true to myself. Okay, I mean, really, let's get into this. So the team leveling, right? So we have here on the forums where they go over it. Basically, while fighting to survive against enemies, you're going to take these teammates. They're going to give you missions to go do. Apparently, you're going to get XP. You're going to build your teammates up. And at the end of all this, you are going to get an ability. These abilities will be ranging from Fix It, he gets the drone. Vasily, he gets his sniper shot, which can take out drones. And Fury gets like a pulse detector, similar to the Echelon class. And I just, after playing at seeing it from a development point of view, not even as a gamer, as developers, it seems like the easy way to go because they already had the mechanic built out. We had this mechanic for the Rainbow Six Squad for Operation Amber Sky. And to see them sugarcoat it now, they put some lipstick on it, they built a leveling system out of it, and then they gave us mechanics that were already in the game. You know, the fix it mechanic is basically the engineer mechanic.
Yep.
The Fury mechanic is basically them just saying, okay, you could shoot this drone, and that's Vasily. And Fury is just a pulse. Like these things are already in the game.
Yep.
So you mean to tell me from January, from Operation Amber Sky to now, this main component of this title update took this long to build out, but the things that were already in the game? So that makes me want to put a 2.
No,
As
yeah, I get definitely from that point of view. I definitely agree with that
okay,
because
and now 1 second, all right? Because I got to get this off my chest.
yes, let's go.
Okay,
Keep going.
I
Preach,
got to get this. I
preach, my
got to get
brother.
this off my chest. If anybody has ever subbed to me and was like, what was G Money doing on day one? My very first YouTube video is Ghost Recon Wildlands AI teammates suck. Okay, I've been a huge voice in the Ghost Recon community over where the AI teammates should be for this franchise and how they should operate in this genre. When we were playing games like SOCOM 20 years ago, games like Freedom Fighters, recently I did a live stream of Operation Flashpoint. These are games that were staples of the not so much Freedom Fighters, but the other two, the squad-based tactical shooter, where you controlled your AI teammates to the T. And I've been saying for a long time now that Ghost Recon, whether it's Wildlands or now Breakpoint, when they added the teammates, they need to fix the move system, the hold system, and the open fire system. At no point in time should you tell your teammates to open fire and they run around like autonomous bots. That is the worst mechanic ever to be implemented in a game. And at this point in time, if they are going to give us a quote unquote teammate experience where they are actually going to work on the AI teammates and provide the player base with a substantial improvement to what the AI teammate experience is going to be, or this quote unquote teammate experience, the number one thing I think, and I think the majority of the community thinks, is that they should have worked on the order wheel.
Agreed.
We should have the ability to move our teammates individually. We should have the ability to move a teammate to any location, and when they're told to open fire, they stay in that location and open fire. We should be able to tell them to hold any location, and when we tell them to open fire, they will hold there. And that's when you start to get to the point where the AI teammates feel like you get to the point where you're back in a squad-based tactical shooter. It's almost to the point where I feel like they are refusing to fix this mechanic because they don't want to take the game down this path. They don't want to give that to us. They don't want to push the game back towards the military squad-based tactical shooter. They are trying to abandon that in which Ghost Recon used to be. And that's why I put it 2, because that's what I feel is the main component for AI teammates and where we should have gone for an update like this. There you
Yeah.
go. I
Yeah.
had to get that off my chest, especially in
I
a
agree.
podcast.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And not to jump ahead, we're going to be going down through this entire article, but where they state in the article that you don't have to command your squads. You, in this game, in this new teammate experience, they basically say, quote unquote, that they will do all of those new abilities on their own whenever some sort of algorithm in the background or whatever AI they have in there thinks it's the proper time to use said ability, and then it'll go on a cooldown. And they basically said, have no fear, no need to micromanage.
Yes.
When I read that, my immediate reaction is, what the hell? I want to micromanage my team. This is the what I would call, like, your character is Nomad, Ghost Lead. You are the leader of the squad. You command all of your teammates to do exactly what you want them to do. whether, move and hold, move and fire, move to this location, cover from this location, cover this location from that location. Even if we can get into the in-depth stuff like the old SOCOM, where I could say, I could give a command to Vasily to, throw a flashbang at this location, so then I can maybe push in and grab an HVT or something like that. All of those commands, I want to be in charge of making those commands. I don't want some AI system on the back end making all of these decisions for me. And when I read that, like, I was excited, and I'm still excited. I will say I'm still excited to kind of go in here and check out the new abilities and stuff. But the second they said that on the back end, all your AI teammates are going to be doing this on their own, that was just a huge turnoff. Like, we're going in the wrong direction. Like what you were just talking about, maybe them kind of going down a different path, getting away from that style of game. They're definitely going down the wrong path. We need to get back more to the squad-based shooter where I'm issuing commands, I'm in full control. I know it's not for the faint of heart, it's not for like the arcade person, but they're not so intricate that it wouldn't appeal to those players. It's nothing too crazy. You have a command wheel where, like, you open it up, and if you want to simplify this even more, you open it up, it has 3 spots. It has 3 AI teammates. You first pick your teammate, then you pick your command, and then if it's a command where you are basically pointing to a location, then it pops up with that little circle, and then you issue that location command at the end. It's not really that hard of a process, and then you could cancel it at any time. But obviously I'm not a programmer. I don't know how much money or how much time they want to be putting into this. It doesn't seem...
That's the thing. They don't want to.
Yeah, and I think with this, like, not throwing shade, but I feel as if there's not, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit behind the scenes, I don't think the entire Ubisoft Paris studio, the Ghost Recon team, I personally don't think they're all working on Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Whether they're, shifting resources to the Division, or, they're helping out massive with the new Star Wars, or they are working on a future Ghost Recon project in early development. I just feel as if what we got wasn't a full studio's worth of work.
No, of course it wasn't. And that leads back to me bringing up the fact that these mechanics already exist in game. And as someone who recognizes that, and I'm sure a lot of people do, there's no way you can be happy with what you see when it's already there. We went, it's almost a 6-month drought of content. What was it, 5-6 months now, right? When was Amber Sky? January?
Yeah, I think it was January, somewhere right around there.
So
yeah,
maybe mid to late January. So we're looking at 4 or 5 months of nothing. I don't know how long it takes them to flip these updates, but the fact that they are pushing more towards, oh, here's your teammate with a magical ability that you can't control, and it's mind-boggling when for the past year and a half, not only did we call for AI teammates being brought back into the game, but then when they were brought back with the same system as Wildlands, we started talking about how this system is broken and needs work. And what we get in a quote unquote teammate experience is something that just doesn't reflect what the community has been talking about. Now, I can't speak for people who love cosmetics and love this and that, and they just want new content, and then they don't really care so much about that. That's fine and dandy. And that might be a lot of people on Reddit, or we could be the minority, the people who really want this game to get back to where it should be. We could be wrong. They could be looking at the data in which they gather, because it's an always online game. They're constantly reviewing what we're doing in game, and maybe we're just the odd man out. I don't know.
Definitely a possibility. We've talked about that a number of times, being that, we're the more old school gamers, I guess you could say, when it comes to these kind of games. And
we're not only old school gamers, we're just old.
Yeah, but like, them in the direction they went with Wildlands, I mean, we could really go down this rabbit hole. But, the short dev cycle, the fact that they finally, they didn't plan for AI teammates, and then when they did, it was I mean, I don't know how the coding would have been different between Wildlands and Breakpoint, but it was literally just taking the AI systems from Wildlands and instituting it into Breakpoint. And then having just a couple of those abilities and stuff, but that would be only for your class. And then they took those class abilities that you were able to use and then just kind of piggyback them onto this new AI system. And
Exactly.
didn't really give us, anything, new.
Yeah. So
Um,
what are they develop? So for all that time, what are they developing? How I would have to assume that a seasoned C++ programmer, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many they have,
oof.
can easily remove teammates, can easily take systems that already exist and just bring them into something else like what we see here and create a leveling system that's already in the game because we already level. So you have all these systems that these programmers have to put together, that the visual guys have to make a user interface for so we can interact with it and we could see it, and that's it. Voila, you have something that was already there. It's like cooking for 3 days and then on the 4th day you throw it all together and you expect your kids to be like, hey, this is new, I love it. No, they just ate that for the past 3 days.
It's a very good analogy. Real quick, Jonathan super chat, $2.79 Canadian super chat says, "Did you hear about the leak on the Division Heartland?" Yes, yes, I have, and
And no, we're
we
not going to cover it.
yeah, well, because me and G actually talked about this earlier. If we were going to branch out into this, maybe towards the end of the podcast, and I mean, for me personally, it's a little bit of a touchy subject, just being the fact that I am in Delta Company. So I am part of one of, Ubisoft's community programs, and I do enjoy, some of the behind the scenes stuff and being able to have contact with the devs and stuff like that. So, some of the feedback that you guys have given in the podcast and in the comment section of my videos, I am relaying that to the devs in whatever shape or form that I can. And I don't want to basically talk about content that was leaked because somebody broke an NDA. And
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to, cost anything. I would love to cover it. Don't get me wrong. I can't wait to play it. Believe me, I've seen all the leaks. I cannot wait to give it a shot. It does sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Something new, something different, a little bit different, I guess you could say, because it's not that far off from like the Dark Zone and the Division, but something new because if that does happen to come out between now and the next DLC for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, maybe there's going to be a Battlefield 6 beta or something during the summer. But for me personally, other than that, there's not really a whole lot on my plate. So, but a return
Well,
of a
I mean,
SOCOM game would be nice.
hey man, you just said it all there in one sentence. There's not a whole lot on your plate. And why is that? It's because we're getting updates like this for Ghost Recon, where look, this hasn't even come out. You already know. What do you have here? A week at most before it's like, 2 weeks if you're lucky. What if you want to, like Abyss said in chat, what if you want to play co-op? Did Ubisoft even consider the fact that this entire update alienates their entire co-op fan base, in which this game was originally promoted as a co-op experience built from the ground up for co-op, and now you have huge title updates that completely alienate co-op players, minus of course cosmetics and things like that. But the meat of this update is the teammate experience, is the leveling system for your AI teammates. And if you play with friends, this is basically out the window. You are still left with a game with no new content.
Yeah, I don't know how much of an issue or how the programming works. Like I've said multiple times on this, I'm not a programmer or anything like that. But what would it have taken to, for instance, if say me and you go into Ghost Recon Breakpoint, we're playing, how hard would it actually be for me to be able to bring, like if I go into my AI teammate settings, because they've already confirmed with this new update that you're going to be able to choose how many AI squad mates are with you. What if it's mandated where you have to go back in and select either 0 or 1 when you're playing with, another person and they want, something like that, where I could bring in an AI teammate and you could bring in an AI teammate, and then whatever teammate we bring in, I am issuing commands to that teammate and you're issuing commands to your teammate. So there's no like overlap with like the communicating with the AI systems and stuff like that. How hard really would that be?
I
Like
don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I
obviously
feel
we're
as if
not
that would be,
programmers.
yeah, I feel as if that would be really, really, really fun if in that scenario we could go in and for instance you could have, both of our AI teammates could just be like Overwatch and then we could go
Yep.
into the base or something like that and they could be providing Overwatch cover, anything
Yep.
like that, being even if it was just one. Even if it was just one of us that had an AI teammate and both of us playing, being able to at least get another one or fill out your squad with AI teammates, I think that would be a whole nother dynamic because then you're not alienating your co-op players, and then your solo players would kind of be incentivized to, hey, that'd be cool. Maybe I'll play with one of my friends, and then we'll bring in the AI teammates, and then you kind of get the best of both worlds. But
Now that would have been an idea that would have been substantial. And the sad part is that we're getting to the point where everything coming out for this game, maybe because it's a flop, I don't know, but everything now at this point is just subpar. To build out something new like that, would they be willing to do that? It's almost as if these teams, and when I say these teams, every team under the Ubisoft umbrella, especially those working in Anvil Next 2.0. So you have Montreal, you have Quebec, you have Paris, you have whoever else, Singapore, whatever. Uh, it seems as if these systems that are built out in Anvil Next are built out specifically so they can be utilized across the entire spectrum for all of their games.
yeah,
So it's almost like they don't want to create something that only one game can utilize, which is why I believe Ghost Recon went down this path, because a lot of the things in Anvil were already created for Assassin's Creed. And when they flipped Breakpoint so fast, they took those systems that were already there and they put in the gear score, and that's why you had colorful loot and you had mechanics that were in Odyssey, like when you hide in a bush.
mm-hmm.
There were things that people, if you've played Odyssey or you played Origins, you recognize there were some similarities in the mechanics that were utilized between the two games, which are totally different. And I feel like that's why we don't get a system like, hey, this is a teammate experience. You know what you can do? You and one other person can team up and you could both have an AI teammate with you to fill out your squad of 4. Like, wow, that's awesome. That works for both sides, the PvE and the co-op players and the single players, because now both of us can reap the rewards of this system. But that would be too much for them to develop, because I don't think it's not worth it for them to go through it. Instead, we get this. We get systems that are already in the game. They mix it together, they release it to us. Like I said before, they put a little lipstick on it and they say, look at this shiny new title update we have for you. They make cosmetics because they know people love cosmetics, and that is what it is. I think we
Yeah,
should probably let's keep going down here, because you know what? Oof.
let's try
I
to get
feel like
back on track and get we're kind of being a little negative, but we're kind of being truthful at the same time. So
and that's what it is too. I hate the fact that we finally got something new and I have to be the negative Nancy. I have to be the one that says, but what about this? But what about this? Why don't we get this? And why don't we get this? Because I understand there's millions of people that are like that, that they all want their ideas. They all think their ideas would have worked. But I feel like across the board, within your respective community, my respective community, and other communities out there on YouTube, on the forums, on Reddit, a lot of people are voicing the same things. So when Ubisoft Paris turns around and they give us this instead of what people have been voicing, for example, the controls and the order wheel, it's like, well, what do you expect at this point? It's like we should have seen. So I say, let's move on here though, because I do want to get into some of these cosmetic rewards, some of the things I see here, because
No,
This is
but
an this is
yeah, I know
this
where we're
is an
going here.
yeah, this is another thing. If anybody in chat, you have anything to add for the XP and leveling and all of that, we can get back to it. But I also want to get to this because this is something we're talking about, and also you're not the only one. Some of my community members have said, yo, where's the ACR? Where's this? Where's that? Why are we getting this? Like nobody asked for this gun. Now I know this is the one they're showcasing, and I don't know why. But what do you think about this main picture here that has the ghillie hood? It has the helmet with the shield. It has the infamous "Where's Waldo" T-shirt.
Yeah, that.
Oh my God! I don't know what they're thinking with that. What do you think about these, quote unquote rewards that we're getting, that we're seeing here?
So first off, we are getting ghillie hoods. Obviously, you see it in that picture. They confirmed that obviously in multiple times with there was going to be new ghillies and stuff coming. They showed that in the trailer, and they actually in the trailer you could see multiple different ghillie hoods. So hopefully, I mean, hopefully it's more than just two. I mean, we can hope that it's more than two. But we also are getting the gas masks that are compatible with helmets. Multiple gas masks that are compatible with helmets, which me personally, that's not my thing. A gas mask, I like to see my character's face, depending on what they're wearing and stuff like that. But the fact that so many community members wanted to be able to wear gas masks with their helmets, the fact that we are finally getting that, that's huge for, the community that really wants that. Obviously, the ghillies is huge, but the Where's Waldo shirt, and when I saw that, and when you said that the first time, you hit it on the head.
Yeah.
It's literally a striped t-shirt.
And
Like,
I don't get it,
we're
dude.
supposed to
I don't
be
get it.
we're behind enemy lines, supposed to be tactical squad military, we're ghosts. We're
Or
the top
wait. Killer Vic said the striped shirt is Spetsnaz.
if
So
that if that's
is there something we're missing?
maybe maybe
Continue. Continue.
like you're gonna go out in a jungle in a Waldo shirt, man, you're gonna get seen real quick. Tell your friend that Where's Waldo shirt is actually an undershirt Russian military soldiers wear under their fatigues, called a telnashaka. Okay, so we are clearly missing something here. Maybe we jump to conclusions. So that is a Russian military tactical shirt. Um, okay, Damar
Dude,
Hall, I do appreciate that because that is news to me.
yeah,
Um,
that's
Russian,
awesome.
yeah,
And you know
Russian
what? For
Spetsnaz. A
me,
lot of people are saying it's Russian military forces,
it will always be
Spetsnaz
a
and
Where's
stuff.
Waldo shirt for me. So sorry about that,
Okay,
guys, but that's
so
straight
now
up
see
Where's
that would
Waldo.
make a big difference if there was a layer system like the Division, because if you wear that, the only thing you're putting over it is a rig. You're not putting a jacket over it. You're not putting another layer over it, so you might see just a little bit of it. Like with the Division, you have a shirt and a jacket. In Wildlands and Breakpoint, you have a top. You can't put two tops. So I just feel as if that really wouldn't match anything wearing that. But
No, of course not. Of
Master
course
Chief
not. If
says,
you
"Well, it's Russia." But I mean, hey, you learn something new every day. I will apologize for if anybody takes offense to that. I had no idea that that was, you
I
know,
won't. I think the
a
Russians should
Russian military.
apologize for making that shirt.
Yeah, well, that's true too. So this weapon in the middle of the screen. So I don't know if anybody in chat know, like if you guys know the picture we're talking about. I guess I could have probably tried to pop it up on screen, but I didn't prep for that, so I'll take the L on that. But the weapon that was in the middle of the screen with this picture that we're talking about, what is it? It's some sort of a bullpup rifle. It has no foregrip on it, which, I mean, it would have looked even better just if they would have threw a foregrip on it just for the picture. But don't we have enough bullpup rifles in the game already?
Yeah, I think so. I
And
think
it's like it's
that's why I
it's
wonder why this is the one they're going to. Why are you going to show this?
Soggy
Wh-
Waffles says MDR question mark. Could be. Definitely
Yeah,
could be.
I
That's
think he's right. I think he's right.
now, is that like a tactical rifle? Yeah, Stephen White says it's the MDR. Everybody's saying it's the MDR. Okay. Is it now? MDR, if I compare that to the MDR in Tarkov, that is a 7.62 by 51 or something like it. 5.56 and 7.62. Okay. So that's more of a Desert Tech MDR. Okay, yeah. Okay. So that's more of like it's a bullpup rifle and you can use it as like an AR. So okay, and that's part of the rewards for ranking up your teammates and stuff like that. The teammate challenges, when you go through the teammate challenges, you will unlock, the one Ghillie head, the fast MT helmet that has actually the face shield. It has like the clear visor face shield. The Where's Waldo shirt, the quote unquote MDR, and then a bunch of patches and emblems. And we've talked about this already today, but I talked about it in my video earlier. We have the patch that it's Nomad, doing the famous Predator, handshake thing with, Dutch and Dylan, I think is what his name was.
Yep.
Why do we have this? Like this, it's a patch signifying like a meme thing from the Predator movie as a patch.
In which it's almost like we're being teased because they took the Predator out of Wildlands to give us this patch. Like, hey guys, remember this? Wink, wink. But I'm not really a patch guy. I don't really put a lot of patches on my gear. I usually don't put any type of patches, to be honest.
See,
I'm
I
not
would if they
for
would
that.
give me the ability, and I think we've talked about this before. So if I wanted to have a a certain patch on my shoulder, and have a different patch on my chest rig, have a different
That would
patch
be
on my
cool.
backpack, have a different patch on my hat, or something like that, or a different patch on each shoulder, you know, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Because when for Wildlands, like you put on like if you put on a backwards hat or a front facing hat and a backpack and stuff, you chose one patch and then the patch was all over you. It was the same patch all over you. So like I would like to be able to have like an American flag patch on my shoulder and then maybe like, an echelon patch or whatever for like what I'm kind of playing as either on my backpack or my chest rig, or something like that. But maybe in the next Ghost Recon. Maybe in the next one we'll be able to put different patches in different spots on our characters. And I did see earlier in chat somebody was basically kind of, down talking Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They were getting a PC, and they're going to be playing Ground Branch, Arma, Insurgency, Sandstorm. See, that's the thing. Why can't we have that style of game in a third-person shooter? Because obviously, I believe Ground Branch is first-person. Arma, I think you can have both. And then Insurgency, Sandstorm is first-person. But those type of games with a proper AI squad, you know, is that really too much to ask for? Are
No,
we?
yeah, it's not. It's not. Look. Even what Roughneck is saying in chat, it's simple. We want a tactical, realism, military shooter. He just bought a game PC to play Armor 3 or Sandstorm.
Okay,
He's
that was him. I think that was definitely that was him then.
right, and he's saying stop wasting your time with this game. Now, and that said that at this point in time, Ghost Recon has gotten to the point where people can say stop wasting your time with Ghost Recon if you want a tactical shooter. And that sucks for a lot of us who enjoyed Wildlands, who enjoyed Future Soldier, or who played any of the OG versions. You get to the point now where you're playing Breakpoint. I don't think we have to abandon this franchise because I think if we're vocal enough, if we get our point across enough, and if Ubisoft sees enough with the player base and what we're talking about, whether it's in mediums like this or Reddit forums, whatever, I think if we do get another Ghost Recon game, we can get it to the point where they will understand where to take it, whether it's the story, mechanics, and we might not get everything because remember, this is a business. Making games is a business. So it's not like we're going to get everything and they're going to make what works for them as a business. And whether that means creating systems that can be utilized across all their games, so be it. But as long as we get to a point where when they are building these things out, it makes more sense. For instance, when they went with tiered loot or they went with the narrative of Aroa and robots. These were some big mistakes that led to the game failing right off the bat. It wasn't even the fact that the game was rushed and was kind of broken, because a lot of broken games that are still have a solid foundation can be pushed towards the finish line. But this overall was a mess. So I don't think we need to give up so fast, because I enjoyed Wildlands, all right?
Agreed.
So, yeah,
And there's multiple people in the chat saying that they went back and played Wildlands and it's more fun.
yeah, so we got strike one. If we get strike two, then maybe we should worry. If the next game it seems like they're not listening, or they're really trying to push the franchise somewhere where it's obvious that they want to take it somewhere else and we don't matter anymore, then it is what it is. But I
Yeah.
think we can give Paris, another shot at this. And I think anything we're getting now is like you said before, maybe a lot of junior devs are working on this with some senior guys, watching over them, and a majority of the team, they are working on other things.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what's up. But I do agree, Roughneck, I have Arma. I do play it. I just bought the new DLC. I've been making missions in Eden, so I've been having fun with that. So I'm trying to get A Squad on that Arma joint.
Soon, definitely soon.
Very soon.
Real quick before we get too far ahead, Riley McQuillan, $5 Canadian super chat, says, been playing Wildlands again with my friend who recently bought both Wildlands and Breakpoint. He's not a gamer at all, but he prefers Wildlands more. I think, for someone, for instance, if there's someone that's never played either game and you come into it, the opening cinematic of Wildlands, just the colorfulness, the way the story comes out, I think it would hook me from day one more than Breakpoint.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not only just the opening cinematic. When you compare the game loops of both games,
Yes.
Wildlands, it between convoys, between stealing the resources, and then between the missions and grabbing intel to open things up within each province, it feels just a lot better going through that game loop, and it takes a lot longer to get tired of it. Whereas Breakpoint is missing all of that. The convoys are gone, the resource system is gone. There's no feeling that, oh, I could take this and steal that. There's no building of rebels, which is another mechanic that was abandoned. And so when you get to Breakpoint and let's say you come upon a side mission, it's a side mission of a guy who's lost, and you need to help him find his banana. And when you're playing that, you're like you're sitting there and you're questioning what's going on here. I thought I'm playing like a shooter, like I thought this guy's behind enemy lines. So a lot of things didn't make sense for Breakpoint, whereas Wildlands, everything fits right into the narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, now, like,
So,
what is there any purpose? What's the purpose of faction missions now? Is there any? Like, what
to burn it, to give you something to do, bro.
Because before you would get those missions and it would give you the battle rewards points.
Yeah,
if you did those
which
missions.
was short lived. That was like, I think that we
Right.
only
Like,
had
what
two.
what do you just get, like, the in scale credits and the
Yeah.
the weapon parts and stuff?
Yeah, just to give you something to do. That's it. And now I'm sure maybe they'll tie something like that to this system. So maybe they tried to make the faction system relevant again by letting you level your AI teammates by going through them. We'll have to wait and see, but that's something to keep an eye out for. Maybe that's how they'll make up for the entire battle pass system breaking and faction rewards being meaningless. So maybe now we'll get some rewards and level up our AI teammates by doing them. I don't know. I'm just guessing that, but
Yeah.
that would kind of make sense.
So now, do you want to jump? I know there's been multiple people in the chat that keeps saying, talk about the new weapons. So the only thing, basically what you guys are talking about, the only thing that we actually have to go off of was whatever was shown in the trailer when it showed like new weapons and new skins. And multiple people are saying to talk about the Mark 18. Where did you guys see the Mark 18? Because I know
I think you should take a minute. Do you have the trailer?
I do. I have
computer?
I have it up right now on my phone, where it shows the first 3 weapons.
No, do you have it on your computer? Did you record it?
Yes.
drag it into OBS and click on it and replace what we're looking at so we can see the
Okay.
weapon.
Let me.
So we can see the weapons, because other than I look, I could bring it up. I remember it's an M4. I think there's a pistol, suppressed pistol, and there was one. I think there's one other weapon. Is it a sniper rifle? I forget. I would have to bring it up.
Well, of the three on the first was the custom painted Tavor. It was what it looks like.
Okay.
Let me find it. I knew I captured it. I will find it momentarily, guys.
Yo, Roughneck, you got it. Roughneck, you're in the Discord, right, bro? Make sure you join the Discord.
Oh, this one.
So,
Nope, wrong one. Hold on. Let me turn off. It's shuffling my playlist of videos
yeah, good.
here.
Yeah, no, whatever. It's worth it. It's worth it because then we could skim through it and they could be looking at what we're talking about. But as far as who we have this MDR, and then let me open. I'm just gonna wait for it so I could see it with you.
There we
Because I
go.
don't.
There we go. So, blood, intense violence. So this is the trailer. I don't know if I can pause it because of how I have it set up.
Okay, let's see.
I don't think it's going to let me pause it. But the first three weapons, which looks to be an M4, a pistol, the pistol honestly looks like a Desert Eagle. And then the one in the middle that's like blue with the stripes on it looks like the Tavor. It almost looks like a Scout because it's like super, super long. So I don't know if is there a Tavor Scout in the game right now? I don't know if there is or not.
We were just looking at the other day. I was reading them off. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember if there was a Tavor Scout. Because it shows the three and then it rotates to the other side of the picture.
Marty said MK18 is 100% in the trailer.
Unless, man, I wish I could pause it.
Just set up a new scene. Who cares? It's where. What are we? An hour into the?
Yeah, I might, because it's coming up. It's coming up. What I'll do is I'll just do.
Let them see a blank screen for 30 seconds. Set up a new scene.
Yeah, customization options. This is where you get. This is the I believe the ghillies. So there's multiple ghillies, 4 ghillie hoods, the 3 gas masks. And then
it's on the left, leaning on an ammo box.
Okay, so these 3. So he's talking about the one on the left right here. Yeah, that does look like a Mark 18.
Yeah, wait, I'm
it
waiting
did.
for.
Yeah, so let me add. Let me do this here.
Yeah, because then you know what? Then we could, when we talk about the gas masks and we talk about everything else, we can go through the trailer and we could pause. It'll be worth it for the rest.
All right, hold on.
It'll be. Oh, it does. It flips. That's. Oh, yeah. We need to be able to pause that.
All right, hold on.
They got to bring back the future soldier outfit so you can go invisible and make sure the invisibility isn't just cosmetic. Well, it wasn't cosmetic in Wildlands, so I'm sure they would have the code for it.
Yeah.
So
let me get this set up, guys. Just bear with me here. I dropped the ball.
Whatever.
I dropped the ball here. So let me.
No, you're good. You're good. So, he said, "Yo, see, Riley's like, yo, don't worry, dude. We're patient. Yeah, it'll be worth it too. If we could skim through it, and it'll be better." Nothing mentioned. Okay, so Blade Runner. Here's the thing, right? And this is my assumption. I don't think Ubisoft, not so much Ubisoft Paris. I don't think Ubisoft, the publisher, the management, I don't think they care to make Ghost Recon PvP good, especially since now we're getting information about the Division Heartland, a free-to-play, microtransaction out the wazoo game. They're going to want to push people into these games.
There we go.
To be able to make as much money as possible. So I wouldn't expect Ubisoft Paris to really give any love to Ghost Recon Breakpoint moving forward, because
All
It
right.
is what it is at this point.
So I think I got it up. So this is the part of the trailer so that we see the
Yeah, there
first
we
three
go. Now,
weapons. So it says new weapons and
there we go.
skins. So the one at the top, if you look, and that's the thing, what
Is optic camo coming Ricky wide? No,
when it
no.
comes
People just
to
want it.
what was the sniper rifle in the game that had like the different crap on it that made it look more like the Ghillie stuff? Because there was like was it the G28
I
was it
don't
the
know.
G28
That
survival?
gun, yo, that middle gun to me looks like the echelon gun almost.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. The
The middle gun.
SK40 or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, the 40,000 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that the thing that I think gives it away is that where the trigger is, it has that like crooked like pistol grip with the front guard that goes around it. I'm pretty sure that's the Tavor. I think. I might be wrong. The pistol looks like a Desert Eagle, but do Desert Eagles have suppress? Can you put a suppressor on the Desert Eagle in the game?
I don't know.
G28 Wilderness, G28 Survival. Cuz that's see how it's got like the paracord and the other stuff on it? Like even what looks to be like even like a Mark 18 or an M4 or whatever down there at the bottom looks like it's kind of got that same stuff on it. I don't know. I am not a weapons expert, so anybody in chat like physically knows what those are, feel free because I am definitely not a weapons expert.
What,
And
like
then
the
it does
cosmetics on the guns?
it does the transition around the corner. Let me see if I can't get this just right. There we go. So people are saying that the one that's leaning up against the ammo box on the left there is the Mark 18.
But I'm waiting for this to catch up.
Yeah, because you're
So so
if
so
you're
so,
watching the
so is
stream, it's gonna
everyone
be a
else.
little
Yeah,
behind.
there
Yeah.
you go. It just caught up now.
Yeah, the Mark
So
8
now
that's
everybody
everybody's
sees it
saying that the one
right
on the
there.
left
Yes.
is the Mark 18, which looks like it has like the
Oh,
digital
okay.
scope on it.
Okay.
See, that looks I mean, people were talking about like the M Mark 18 is like a basically built out of the M4 cuz that literally looks like Nomad's M4 that he had in the reveal trailer.
But was his an M4 or was it a 416?
You're right, it was a 416. It was a 416 shorty with like the weird grips on it that you couldn't technically build.
Yeah. And this takes us, I mean, that could take us into an entire conversation that has nothing to do with this title update, which is the gunsmith. All of these guns that a gunsmith, you should be able to mix and match parts to create these different types of weapon platforms, as well as put on all these types of uh, ghillie items onto these weapons. And that's an update that people have been wanting for a long time, and that's been ignored. It was a
Man, I
516
am
came.
getting destroyed in chat right now.
Why?
Because I said it looked like the digital scope, and everybody was immediately correcting me that it was the comp M4, not the digital scope
Yeah, whatever.
on
Comp
that. And then
M4.
talking about the 516, that's right. The one that Nomad had was the 516
Okay, it was the
shorty.
516.
Yeah, the 516 shorty. Because it was Nomad with the Sig 516. Yeah, 416 shorty with the skull grip mag. Yeah, I mean, he says that is my Mark 18. It's the only gun I use in Wild. That is the only gun I use in Wildlands as well. It's such a fun gun. And if you guys are saying that's what it is, then I'll believe you. Because like I said, I'm not a weapons expert. I didn't even talk about that in my video today because I did not know that's what that was. And then I don't know if the one on the right is that the MDR. Is that like the one? Is that like the one that
Oh no, press play and let it zoom out a little bit. See if we can
it
see it
doesn't?
a
It
little
goes
bit
up.
more. Oh, you can't see it any better than that. All right.
I mean,
So then
I
I'm
backed
I'm
it up
not
a little
sure.
bit.
No, it's, no, that's fine.
It looks pretty close to the one that was in because it doesn't have a grip or anything. It just has like the different sight on it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, but are people, you see, this is what I'm talking about. We get a title update that has some mechanics that are already in the game. They throw some guns in, like they tease us, like, oh, here's some guns that we should have given you on day one. They'll have some cosmetics. One is a Where's Waldo shirt because I'm supposed to run around with,
yeah,
a striped shirt in the middle of the jungle. And I don't know, are people supposed to sit there and say, "This is amazing. I love this. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Thank you so much for, 4 or 5 months of nothing, and then all of a sudden a few tweets, and then bam, a few guns, a few cosmetics, and systems that nobody cares about.
Yeah, and everybody in chat saying that that is the MDR, the other one. So they're saying that the Mark 18 and the MDR. And Andrew Buck said he just launched Breakpoint and you cannot put a suppressor on the Desert Eagle. So yeah, maybe that's a different pistol. Maybe we're getting a new pistol. Maybe that's something completely different then. But they're saying that
knowing Ubisoft, it'll be a dedicated Desert Eagle this one can only get the suppressor on it, you know? It'll be like in Wildlands when you got the his and her AK and that was it, like that you couldn't really go into and change it. Maybe it'll be a weapon like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's back up a little bit in this trailer because I know some people were a little bit curious. I actually saw it in my comment section. There was a couple people commenting about it. So the iconic costumes now available. So for those from what I heard, these costumes. So there was a lot of people that were talking about like Nomad, Vasily, and Fury and Fix It, like all of the characters that we saw in the original reveal trailer of Ghost Recon Breakpoint way back in what was that, like May of 2019, that you couldn't like fully customize your character with all of the in-game items to look exactly like the characters looked in the reveal trailer. So supposedly these new iconic costumes are like a one-on-one match with all of the characters that we got to see in the reveal trailer. It would be really cool if like you had the option to, when you picked that character, you would get the weapon that they had exactly how it was kitted, because then that would solve this entire problem with everybody wanting like the Nomad loadout. They want Nomad how he looked in the reveal trailer with that weapon exactly how it was in the reveal trailer. It's that simple. I don't know if we're going to get weapons with it, but
Probably not.
supposedly
No,
that's supposedly that's the iconic costumes that everybody's going to get access to. It is basically Fix It, Vasily, Nomad, everybody in Fury, basically exactly how they were in the reveal trailer. So I'm pretty sure.
I never understood that. I was never one to care, but I don't know. I guess a lot of people cared.
So now going back, we have the 3 gas masks that are now compatible with helmets. So I don't know what all, like if these gas masks are compatible with every helmet in the game, or there's specific helmets, or
no, it just said, I think it said 3. It was right. I'm
yeah, but you
sure
can, yeah, you
3.
can, yeah. I wonder if these gas masks.
That's what the guy said. The guy said 3 gas masks that can be equipped with helmets.
Yeah, so you have 3 gas masks that can be equipped with helmets. Now, can it be equipped with all helmets?
Well,
is the question in the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
So is there clipping issues? Did they only do so many?
Yeah, probably. That's probably the issue.
So real quick, Caleb Garner with the $5 super chat says 1 Desert Eagle. So that's what he's okay. Tar 21 Tavor. Mark 18
M4
that's the variation.
Tar 21.
Yeah, so then he says Mark 18 M4 variation. The M4A1 SOP mod Block 2, which is what, so that's what he's calling, what everybody's calling the Mark 18. And then the MDR, sorry I'm late. Oh, no worries, man. Yeah. So welcome, that's somebody that knows weapons way more than I do. So, yeah. And somebody's saying in chat that you have those outfits. They're technically different than the icon skins that are already in the game. And those, I believe, are going to just be free to everybody, I think. Hopefully. If they make me pay for that, I'm gonna be pissed. But I will say, in this image with the 3 gas masks, it does look cool. You know, especially the middle guy with that mask with that like tack helmet looks really cool. If you can combine like those gas masks with any helmet in the game, that's you know, me personally, it's not for me, but it is huge for a lot of players that really wanted to be able to wear the gas masks.
But you want to know
the
what?
Helmets.
I'm gonna bring forward the next problem the community will have. Are you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Can you wear these gas masks in Amber Sky? Right? If you can wear this and it won't override, then people will be happy. Because I think that's what people want. They want it to kind of
Yeah.
feel useful. So if they go back and they play Amber Sky and the gas mask stays on their face, I think they'll be happy.
See
Which I
that
think I'm trying to remember. I think you could wear a few items and the item wouldn't be overridden by the gas mask that they had. So hopefully if people wear this and play the Amber Sky DLC, this will look like the gas mask that stays on your face. It'll stay like this and people will be happy. Like, yay, I could wear my gas mask and it makes sense.
that would be cool. Because the ones that like the little fake one that you kind of pull out of your pocket and put on your face, that would I could only imagine these like people that are really into the immersion and stuff like that. If they're
Yeah.
wearing these gas masks that are more than capable, and then you go into that zone and you just like whoop, it disappears, and you
Uh,
put on that fake little like thing with the little side
you put
filter
on
on it.
the division fast gas mask.
Oh man, I can only imagine where what we would see on the forums then. Let me scroll back up here. Executioner, I think I've seen this a couple times. You said this, and it says it feels like I feel like everything since day one of the pandemic, all development on new games, DLCs, updates, and game health updates are on hold or pushback. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are
Yeah,
working from
we have to
home. I
understand
don't know
that.
how efficient that all is and stuff, So it's definitely affected the entire industry. It's not just Ghost Recon, it's not just Ubisoft, but it just seems like, you know, I don't know. It's a little bit lackluster, and obviously, this probably isn't the biggest priority because of how it launched. This isn't a cash
Yeah.
cow like some of the other games are. So, and then also shout out to Sylvester Folks, man. I know you've been trying to tune into these tactical roundtable podcasts, and you made one. So he says, I think that will make the outfits more viable if they actually have an effect on the enemy's visibility of you. Oh
Oh yeah,
boy,
that's a
we've
conversation we've had. That's not
yeah.
happening in Breakpoint or maybe ever.
Yeah, that would be the proper thing. Like if you think back to like, and I think they were way too carried away with it. But if you think back to all the Splinter Cell games, when you could literally have a guy standing 4 feet from you, but if you were standing in the shadows, he had no idea you were there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like it wouldn't have to be to that degree, but if I'm in the jungle and I'm wearing jungle like camouflage and I'm like crouched, there's no reason that you should be seeing me from like 80 meters away or
Yeah.
something like that, unless if I'm especially if I'm sitting still. If I'm not moving, you should not be able to see me until you practically step on me. Because with some of the camos and stuff that are in here that would blend in so good, especially with the new ghillie suits, like that's a discussion for another day because we could really go and rant about that for a while.
Yeah,
And
and
then I will
it
actually
leads to a second part too. Not only the color of your camo, but the vegetation that you're in, which is
yeah,
something that the AI really doesn't react to as well. So for real, that is a whole that's a whole other discussion.
yep. So now kind of transitioning over to the part of the trailer that showcases the ghillie hoods. So it
Yeah.
says 4 ghillie hoods, and I'm honestly thinking that in this screenshot you have all 4 of them, because all 4 of these, now that I'm actually looking at it in like actual I didn't really look too much into it
Can
when
you
I
get
when I did the trailer.
is that the best shot?
Yeah, I mean I mean it's yeah, that's about the best shot.
Okay.
So you have, yeah, all 4 of those are completely different. So the one in the right, I don't even know what you'd call that. It's kind of like the strands. The
Yeah.
one on the left bottom is kind of the strands, but it looks completely different. Looks like 2 different kinds of strands. The one in the middle, way in the back, looks kind of like the leaves that you got out of the tactical caches, I think maybe. Is what that kind of looks like. The kind of like all bushy leaves. And then the one up in the left, I don't even know what that almost looks like he's wearing a hoodie. Like there isn't any like a whole lot
That
of
one looks
ghillie to that, but
that one to me looks like the one that's in the store.
is there one in the store?
There's one in the store that the leaf pattern looks like that. It's bushy. I think it's whitish or something,
Oh, okay.
and it looks like I think that's in the store. It looks like that.
Got you.
But hey, at least well, you know what? Oh my God, this is I'm repeating myself, but this is the point of why this is not what it really like this. Ugh, we want more. Like, we should have got this on day one. You know, 4 ghillie hoods. Okay, 4 ghillie hoods, gas masks and helms. Okay, okay, okay. A couple new guns, a Mark 18. All right. We're a year and a half in. A year
Yeah.
and a half. We're 4 or 5 months since our last content patch. Like this just doesn't scream to anybody who's playing this game day in and day out, or wants to see this game succeed or get back on its feet. This doesn't really scream like this is amazing. This screams like, okay, it's about time. Like
Yeah.
four ghillie hoods. Whoop de doo. We've been waiting for what was the issue? Where's the communication? What is it about this industry that stops devs from saying, hey guys, we're having clipping issues. When we can get ghillie hoods out to you, we'll get it out to you. Instead of just having people like, where are the ghillie hoods? Where's this? Where's that? Why is it so hard for software companies to say, yo, this is broken. We'll fix when we get around to it, we'll get it to you. But
Yeah, that's
I guess that's just me as somebody who understands how difficult software development is, especially game development. And I guess the majority of people just think things magically work. So a company's not going to come out and say, hey, we can't figure this out right now. But obviously, you couldn't figure it out if it took you a year and a half to get us ghillie hoods.
yeah.
Obviously, there were some huge bugs within, whether it was clipping or whatever it was, with the system they have created for cosmetics, that they couldn't figure this out.
I honestly, and this is just, I have no idea if this would have been the root cause, but I almost feel as if there was probably clipping issues when you transition to first person ADS. When you're basically right behind the gun in first person, the
Maybe.
ghillie hood was like, or ghillie or whatever, is kind of like
Yeah.
coming onto the screen.
And they couldn't figure it out all this
Yeah,
time.
because that's why, and like I said, I don't know if this was, if I'm even supposed to like allowed to say this or not, but that's why,
Well,
for
then
those of you
don't.
guys that like the wolf armor, that's like one of the, I think it's a chest rig. I'm pretty sure it's a chest rig. It's not a top. It's a chest rig that's basically called wolf armor.
Yeah.
At one time, there was the black robe attached to that, but there was clipping
Oh, they
issues.
took it off?
They took it off. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm like a 90% sure.
I
But I
hate
think,
those pieces of
yeah,
gear.
but I think the wolf armor had the black cape thing attached to it, and they were having issues with it, so they just basically took that off and left the chest rig wolf armor thing as it was, I think. So, but I don't know if there's any other customization options in this trailer. I don't think so, because it goes
Yes,
customization options,
there is
the gas
uh
mask, the icons.
rainbow team.
Did I go past that already? Oh yeah, the rainbow team being fully customizable. That's right.
So now here's another thing. Games aren't easy to make or cheap for that much. Yeah, exactly, Cerebrus. They're not. That's why I feel like it should be okay for developers to say we're having problems here. You know, when we fix it, we'll get it to you. Instead of just making it seem like they don't hear us, which was the issue with the ghillie hoods. No one really came out and said, "Oh, we're having issues." The community just basically figured out there must be some clipping issues or bugs, because there's no reason why we shouldn't have ghillie hoods. Now, as far as the rainbow team, this is another kind of like half-ass solution. You realize that they're not allowing you to change their heads, because that's probably one solid model. So like the glasses, what's the middle girls? I don't know their names. I don't
I
know the
don't either.
rainbow
I'm
name.
not. Yeah,
Right?
I'm
But the
not.
middle character, right? Her shades and her hat, that's on her model. Like if you remove that hat, it's basically the mesh is destroyed. The same with the girl on the
Be just
left, the
having like a
Russian
giant
chick.
hole in her head if you took off
Yeah,
her hat. Yeah.
yes, exactly. So I guess they couldn't, they maybe they didn't want to redo the entire head, but there's no reason why you shouldn't just have the face. Like who cares? But I guess you know what? I guess that makes them iconic in a way. But then for that, who cares about dressing them up? But you know, that's just me.
Yeah, that pretty much
I'm
means
wrong. Don't listen to me. People
right
care.
that means
People
right out of
care.
the gate you're not gonna have rainbow and ghillie suits. You can have a full
Yeah.
ghillie. You can have a full ghillie
Yep.
from bottom to
There you
top,
go.
but they're gonna have that the
No
big blast
helm.
shield, the hat with the
Yeah.
sunglasses on.
If you want to go fully decked out Ghillie, you got to rock with the original three
Yep.
teammates.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're gonna have the girl on the left. She's in all yellow, so she's gonna be all camouflage and a big yellow face mask with the shield on. It's like, I feel like for that, it's almost like cut your losses. I'd rather tell the community, you know, you can't edit these icons. You can't edit these guys. They're skins. They're icons in the game. They're not editable. But whatever. That's just me. Put your resources somewhere else. But half the things I say, I'm wrong. That's just me being a grumpy old man.
All right, so now moving over, one more thing here to touch on in this trailer. For those of you guys that are using your AI squad, and you fully customize them to look like a squad, like a legit squad. Everybody's kind of got the same, the same camos, different chest rigs and the whole 9 yards and stuff like that. Being the fact that now the second primary weapon is going to be invisible. It's still there because when you sync shot, it reappears on their backpack, from what I understand. But it's not there. Like it's not visible, which I think from an aesthetics point of view, I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that because there's, in my personal opinion, even in Wildlands, and when I go back and play Wildlands, if I'm like trying to get some cool gameplay, I'm losing ghost mode characters to just stupid stuff because I hate being mandated to have two massive primary weapons on my back, especially if you like switch to your pistol and you have these like a sniper rifle and an AR, or a sniper rifle and a submachine gun. Being the fact that now they're making that second primary that you can't, why can't I just go in there and my AI teammates and just take off that second weapon? Why can't I do like what I do on my main character in Breakpoint, where I can technically unequip both of my primaries and just have a pistol and go like full Sam Fisher if I want to? Why can't I do that with my AI teammates? Why can't I take off at least their second primary and just completely get rid of it?
Well, this goes back to the problems in the development cycle, in them not being able to foresee issues down the road. Because obviously, these guys are programmed to use these specific weapons somewhere in the code. They can't get rid of it because it would break the entire thing, and they're not about to rebuild this from the ground up. So they can hide it, but then when you sync shot, they need to use these weapons.
Got you.
You know, that's me looking at it from a development perspective. Otherwise, they would get rid of it. So you have to think, okay, so why can't they get rid of it? This code is probably baked in so much that they can't get rid of it. And it reminds me, for anybody who played World of Warcraft for the past, 16 years now, 17 years, whatever. In World of Warcraft, as the expansions moved forward, your original bag, which was 16 slot, couldn't be replaced, and your other bags could be replaced. So you were on like the fourth expansion, and you had like 24 slot bags in every slot except your first slot. Because the way they programmed the character creation, that first bag was baked into the code so hard that they had a difficult time changing it. So I'm assuming this is kind of the same thing, that they're able to tweak it, but they're not able to completely remove it. So for those of us who are walking around and just don't want to see that second gun, it's like, all right. But then, try not to look at them when you tell them to sync shot, because then it's going to ruin the immersion.
Yeah. So real quick, Cerberus in the chat says, A Squad and G Money, how would you feel if Ubisoft doesn't make a new Ghost Recon game, but instead they remaster the old Ghost Recon games? So I'll just throw this out here real quick, and then I'll kind of let G Money kind of give his opinion. Ubisoft is not good at remasters, so I would love to see a new Ghost Recon game, but not to sound like a dick, but I don't have faith that they could remaster a game and have it be any better than it was previously. Obviously, the graphics and stuff would look better, but if you, and I don't know how like full on they went at this, but if you look at the original Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, and then you look at the Assassin's Creed Ezio collection, that was supposed to be this masterful remaster, and like, so it didn't really look that different. It didn't. And, the core, the textures, the core graphics, the core everything, yeah, you want to play it on an Xbox Series X or a PS5, I believe you might get double the frame rate. It might be 60 FPS now, but it's still not really going to look that much different. If they could do a remaster like Rockstar does remasters or Activision does remasters, like what Activision did with Call of Duty 4, with COD 4 remastered or Modern Warfare remastered or something like that. I would love to see a Future Soldier remastered or a GRAW, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter remastered, or even the OG Ghost Recon remastered, but you can't just have a straight remaster. There needs to be quality of life stuff in there because those games are old. Those games, even with being remastered, would not survive with just the way those things were back then. So
yeah, that's it. There not needs to be added to that. Hard no for me. Hard
yeah.
no. I got to be honest with a lot of guys, and yeah, go ahead, give
Real
Quint
quick,
the shout out.
$4.99 super chat from Quint Ahab. Doesn't say anything. Huge shout out, brother. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat.
But yeah, when you look at a lot of people were even on the forums were saying, "Hey, can we get a Wildlands remaster?" And really, what they want is just a completely new game, but with the feeling of Wildlands. So when we're talking about actual remasters, I don't want Future Soldier remastered. I could literally boot that up, and if you have good enough specs, the game is still beautiful. I feel like that's just a waste of resources.
Yeah.
As far as
Which
going
I
back,
missed that. Which one were you talking about?
Future Soldier,
Yeah.
right? It still looks great.
It
You
still
don't need
does
to
look good.
remaster it.
Yeah, it's
As far as going back even further,
if they could just fix the crashing thing.
oh yeah, for
And
like
that might even be a
for
hardware thing. I
Uplay,
don't
right?
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's a big issue. But if you go back to the first Ghost Recon, you can't remaster that. It just wouldn't work in today's market. It's a game with a dot in the middle of the screen. It's not even a legit first person game. You don't see a weapon or anything. It's like the old school Counter-Strike game, the original Ghost Recon. So you really can't remaster that. You would have to just basically make a new game. As far as like Advanced Warfighter, I just think they're so far gone. You can go back and play those if you can, but to remaster them, I don't know. I'd rather them put their effort into just building out a new game that works for today, and not trying to get technology, games that were built on for technology 15 years ago to work for today. I don't think it would translate well.
Yeah. So real quick, I had that on the screen for a hot minute. Now you can choose the amount of AI teammates that you have.
Okay,
You
yeah,
can
let's
go
get
in with
into that.
you can go in with one AI teammate. You can go in with none. You can go in with one. You can go in with two. You can go in with three. That's the new thing. You can choose how many squad mates you want. Um, I don't know. It's cool, but
Dude, I have to be honest. I have to be completely honest here. I feel like from if you were here in the beginning of the podcast, this is directly related to my rant, which right, which was about the controls of the AI, right? So if they weren't going to do this for what you said about having two co-op players and then two AI teammates and things like that, I feel like the point of this is because so many people said that the teammates are so bad and don't listen that they figured, all right, let's do it to where people can use one teammate, and maybe it'll when you tell one teammate to move somewhere or move here, it'll look better. Because when the three of them are trying to move to one space, it seems like they were programmed to find whatever wall or whatever corner they could find to hide behind. And it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel organic the way they moved when you told them, hey, move over there. And all of a sudden they ran around in between like a 20 or 40-meter space. One teammate went to this corner, another teammate went 20 meters and hung out on that corner. So I think they did this so we can get to the point where we'll get more comfortable with less teammates. Now, here's the downside of this. And shout out to Penguin Overlord. I watched his video today and he brought this up. He said, I hope this doesn't mean that moving forward, instead of fixing the AI teammates, they decide to give you less. So let's say in the next game, instead of fixing how the teammates should work, where we should control multiple teammates and be able to tell one teammate to go here, another teammate to go here, they'll just abandon that entirely and just give you one teammate to quote unquote control more
oh
perfectly, if you want to
god,
say.
oh man, I hope not.
right?
I hope not.
Because now
They need to contact the old Zipperfish Interactive devs. Like, yo,
we're
how
gonna
did you
find
guys do
out.
this on PS2 hardware?
We're gonna find out, all right? Because I would also like to see the data behind this because obviously they're going to see how many people are playing with how many teammates. But for someone like myself, I want to play with more teammates, but I am probably going to end up playing with one to see if it feels better, to see if it feels more authentic when I tell them move to this corner, if they actually go to that corner and stay there. Because if they do, I'll probably end up playing with one, even though I want to play with more. But if they take that data, turn around, and then make the next game with less teammates, that people are gonna get upset at that. So I hope this doesn't affect anything down the line.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I really don't see how this could be beneficial, especially given the content and the nature of this content that we're getting in this update. You're getting teammates to make them stronger to have abilities. So, but then why are you going to turn around and give yourself less teammates with less abilities?
yeah.
On top of that, you're going to have less sync shot abilities. So for people who just want to have, the path of least resistance, I don't. What do you think is the point of this? Like,
I
what
don't
was
know.
there? Can you
Just
right
people,
like
some people were talking about they wanted the ability to have
less teammates? That's
less
it, just
teammates.
less.
I think on the
I
back end, that
I
was
don't
they
know.
wanted to be able to have less teammates, but they also wanted to be able to fill their squad out when they were playing with real players. Um,
Maybe one step at a time. Maybe that's the
yeah,
next step, because I really think it comes down to the majority of us complaining about how stupid they move when you try to control them through these compounds. You can't control the three of these guys through these compounds. So maybe they figured if they have one and you tell one to go to the exact location, which I'm going to test out when this launches, maybe they'll actually go to that corner and stay there. Where when you told three of them, one of them would run across the street, another one would run down the alley, and one of them might go to the spot you told them to go to. So that's my thinking on why they did this. Instead of fixing the actual issue, they kind of band-aided it a bit.
yeah.
So yeah.
So kind of transitioning here, I've seen multiple people talking about this in the chat. At the very end of the trailer, we do see a Black Hawk helicopter hovering above this bridge here, and I would not, nobody in chat, I would not get your hopes up because we saw a Black Hawk during the reveal, like the cinematic reveal trailer. We saw a Black Hawk. We saw a Black Hawk in one of the first screenshots of it flying over the big city that was on the island of Aroa. We saw a Black Hawk. I don't think they're giving you a Black Hawk.
No, this doesn't look like it's for promotional purposes. It looks like it's just something
It's a
to kind of
cinematic where
fill
they,
space.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, yeah.
cinematic where they throw in a Black Hawk helicopter, even though it's not in the game. You know, so
They never learn. Now people are going to start asking for Blackhawks.
well, it's like we've talked
It's
about
a
that.
self-fulfilling prophecy for
We have talked
Ubisoft.
about that multiple times while we were playing. That in Ghost Recon Wildlands, the Black Hawk helicopter feels the most like an actual helicopter. The amount of time it takes from when you get in it for the blades to spin up, the way it maneuvers, the way it flies, it's a big helicopter, you know? And
Yeah.
it's a fun helicopter to fly. It looks cool. I understand why people want the Black Hawk. It was personally one of the coolest helicopters in Ghost Recon Wildlands, aside from I think it was like the Apache or the Cobra, whatever that little two-seater was. That had like
Yeah.
the missiles and the machine gun and stuff on it. That one was pretty cool too. And they all flew unique. Like the Cobra, like I know you guys are gonna be correcting me in the chat whether it was a Cobra or whatever it was. Um, Flew completely different than the Little Bird. The other helicopter that was like the Unidad, one of the Unidad helicopters flew different. The Black Hawk, obviously there was multiple different Black Hawks. You had the Unidad, you had the military ones, you had the medic ones that you would steal and stuff like that, and they all were different. And I don't even know how many. I think there's only like two different helicopters in Breakpoint. You got the little bird that has all the different variations, and then you have that big weird looking one that looks just, I don't know if that's like the futuristic Black Hawk that they were talking about. Like
Yeah,
it looks weird.
I gotta
Okay,
be honest.
everybody in chat saying it was a cobra. Everybody in chat
I
saying it was
know
cobra.
I know a lot of people maybe they'll see like the Black Hawk or something and they'll want it. I think for the type of game this is with the setting, it would be cool to what's the name of the planes that is it the C-23 Sherpa? I just googled it. Is that the name of the plane that all the SEALs jump out of in movies and things like that where it opens up from the back?
I have no. Well, I mean, it's a.
What's the name
I
of
mean, it's
those
like a
of
C.
that
It's
plane?
like there's a C-130.
Is it the C-130? I'm not sure,
It
but
might. I don't know. I'm sure we're gonna get something in the chat because there's people in here that know way
no,
more
no,
about
no, not
military
the
than I do.
C1. Oh, the C-130. I think that's more for like cargo, but I guess that
Yes.
could be one too. But I think a plane where one guy could get in and fly it, and the three can load in from the back and kind of load into it, and then jump out of it at high distances. I think that would be really cool for kind of an immersive thing.
Yeah. And let me kind of piggyback on that. Um, AC-130. It's not the AC-130. The AC-130 is your terror in the skies. You're not gonna be having paratroopers jump out the back of an AC-130. Like the C-130, like we were talking about, the C-130 is a cargo plane, and then the AC-130 is the modified cargo plane that turned into an absolute hell from the skies. Somebody's saying a C-17 or a
Well, whatever.
C-130.
You
Yeah,
guys
anyway,
understand what I'm saying.
yeah, but
That type of plane would be cool.
and I will say this, and to piggyback off of that, like we've talked about this multiple times, and I kind of wanted to bring this up anyway because there was somebody in chat a little bit ago that was talking about they like immersive gameplay, so they very rarely fast travel. And me and G Money have talked about this, and having a new fast travel system where you could pick a spot to fast travel. Like, so let's call this the next Ghost Recon game, and let's completely set aside the control point system that we've talked about multiple times. How you would have to capture the point to be able to use it as a fast travel, and there was only
Yeah.
one of those per region. Let's set that
Yeah. Oh
aside.
wait, we're losing. We got Custer and we got Stabby.
We'll
Let's get
see.
some shout outs here.
Yeah. Custer plays. That's awesome to see you in here, man. I've watched a lot of your gameplays, and
For real, Custer, shout out to you,
yeah,
brother.
dudes, them gameplays are dope. Those gameplays are really fun to watch. I believe that's euros. I don't know if that's euros. €4.99. I appreciate it, man. You're definitely a legend in the Ghost Recon community when it comes to those gameplays. And Caleb Garner, wonder how hard with the $5 super chat. Wonder how hard it would be to implement better flight mechanics. G Money, you're talking about the V22 off spray, and also for rear loading a Chinook. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
the
what Abyss
Chinook,
said.
yeah, the big double blade helicopter that you get the really long, narrow helicopter. I know
Yeah,
that's
no, well, the Chinook, that's not the one I'm talking about from for at least like the movies where Navy SEALs like will jump out the back.
yeah,
It's definitely not the Chinook.
yeah.
It looks more something like I guess the C-130 where the
Yeah.
back opens up and then they would kind of like jump out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so
But
but
whatever,
like
you guys get the point.
going like to what I was talking about with the okay, never mind. We got Riley McQuillan with the $5 Canadian super chat says we need bicycles to drive by LOL and shitballs back as a regular dialogue and Gamer1337 as a character. Gamer1337 as a character, we definitely need that as an icon skin. 100%. And yeah, dude.
You guys are just hating. Ghost Recon, it's just the greatest game ever, okay?
Oh man. But that's what were we talking about? We were talking about this the other day. I remember what it was, but it's like, why couldn't we have had some sort of an Easter egg or a cameo or something of the Nomad saying shitballs or
Yeah.
something in Breakpoint, just kind of like as a nod? Or no, that's when we were playing the Division. That's when we were playing the Division because the same guy that voiced Nomad in Wildlands
Oh
voiced
yeah. Yes.
Manny
We
in the
were talking.
Division 2, and if we could have got Manny in the Division 2 to say like shitballs over the radio or something. But okay, now where was I? Get back on track here. So with so back to that fast travel system. Like we talked about it where, okay, I'm going to fast travel to this point, and then when you pick the point, another like drop down menu opens up, and depending on the point, like for instance, if it's a rally point or something that's next to the water, you can have like a water infill, like from a boat or something like that. Or if there's no water nearby, you could halo jump, you could jump out of a C-130, you could do like a thing where like, this AI controlled helicopter pulls up and you rappel out of the helicopter, just like from an immersion standpoint. I don't know. I was just when you said something about jumping out of the back of a C-130 or having somebody being able to control it or something like that,
I'm
instead
seeing
of just having these magic fast travels where you just poof, you just pop up out of thin air, having it so that like you could choose to travel to this point and do a halo jump or a rappel out of a helicopter or a boat infill or something like that.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think getting from A to B and having something more immersive than cut, you loaded, cut, you're already here. I think it would be cool if it, you know, these quote unquote bivouacs or safe houses can act as areas almost like in Grand Theft Auto, where you go to the taxi and you can watch the taxi take you across the map, or you can get in the taxi, you hold X or whatever, and then it takes you across half the map and then it loads up and then you get out of the taxi. So
Yeah.
yeah, something like that would be cool for Ghost Recon. And it's little things like that that make the game feel more immersive for a lot of the guys who want to mill sim and don't want to have all of these weird mechanics where it just makes things so convenient. Make it more immersive. Yeah, make it so we have to go to this area, get on this plane, load up into it, and then it takes off, and then we could quote unquote fast travel to the next area. I think that would be really cool. And for the a few more seconds we have to do it, hey man, I think it's worth the immersion.
Yeah, and then Sucker Punch actually just said, or like the Black Hawk from Metal Gear Solid 5. I didn't really, I don't know what that.
Well, in Metal Gear, when you load it, when you start the mission, you start in the Blackhawk, and then it takes you. The mission starts, and the credits roll, and you're in the Blackhawk, and it takes you to the landing zone, and it drops you off. You do your mission, and then you could either run out of the mission area, or you can call your chopper, and it'll pick you up at a landing zone, and you get in the chopper, and it takes you away.
Oh
Now,
man, that just makes me even more disappointed in the system that we currently have.
yeah, now that's mission based. So that's each mission. So the mission starts, you're in a chopper, the mission ends, you get in the chopper. We're talking more, how do we make these mechanics better, like fast traveling, etc. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's so many things we could talk about like that. Did we miss disable AI teammates? Did we cover everything so far now?
I think we, for the most part, um,
Get XP, leveling up, rewards, upgrades. How do we feel about yeah, I guess we talked about the actual mechanics they gave them. We didn't really get into, you know, why they're lame, other than the fact that it's just easy because they're already in the game. So yeah,
yeah.
whatever. That's what it is.
Real quick before we get too far on this topic that we've kind of been talking about, Caleb Garner with the $5 super chat says the C-130 is the most common plane that SEALs jump out of, or the V-22, and sometimes I wouldn't be surprised to hear they do the same in the C-17.
Okay, yeah. Well, you guys get my point. I think out of all the planes missing in these games, you know how they reused the fixed wing plane and Breakpoint that's in Wildlands. It's this that one
Yeah,
fly-
it's the same plane.
like that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that plane. Replace it with something cool that we could all load up in, and kind of when you parachute out, it feels cool. You
Like,
could
see,
parachute out.
that made sense in Bolivia.
Yeah,
That
it
plane
did.
made sense in Bolivia with like
Yeah,
the
why is it
cartel
in
using those. Yeah, why is it on a futuristic technology island in the
dude,
South Pacific, and we
asset?
have the same drug running Bolivian plane? Like,
Uh,
come on.
They weren't about to redo all that, man. It's just reusing the same assets.
Yeah, I don't know. Apollo Patriot says, "What about the heavy duty gas mask with helmets?" It was just the three that they showcased in the trailer that I think is going to be
Yeah, I,
equipable with the helmets and stuff.
yeah. If they specifically said something in the trailer, I don't doubt that whatever is already in the store right now, you're not going to be able to do. Maybe they'll work on it for the future, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Also, Viking Outlaw says talk about the Honey Badger mag that is a rifle but on armor. Yeah. So, for instance, if you have an AR and then in your chest rig it has submachine gun magazines or shotguns, and yeah,
Well, that's a bug. They
that's
they they've been trying to fix that since day one. It should represent the same ammo. So the thing is that if the Honey Badger is showing SMG ammo, it's because in the game it's considered an SMG.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure they fixed that bug where
okay.
the magazines on your vest
They
uh
should
have-
match.
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
they talked about that in the title update.
they match the weapon you have. I
Gotcha.
think I think what it is that in reality, let me look it up. What type of caliber is the Honey Badger in real life?
Probably a 5.56.
Uh,
Real quick, Canadian Cop. I do apologize. I did scroll back up. With the $2.79 Canadian super chat. Says,
nice.
would you like to see a Ghost Recon movie?
Oh, that was way up there. Oh man,
I personally would, but it's like let me put it this way first. I would like to see what
that's
Netflix and The Division do first, and if they are even capable. Because like the Assassin's Creed movie, nah, that wasn't it. Prince of Persia, that wasn't it. Like people that try to make movie adaptations of video games normally fail horribly. So, and with the amount of other really good military movies out there, you'd be almost better off letting the pros do it.
well. I feel
But I would
better.
like to see a Ghost Streak. It would be cool. It would be cool.
You're the worst YouTuber in the world. Guy donated and you didn't even get to him.
I saw it and then you were ranting. I'm gonna blame it on you.
It's me. I'm the worst YouTuber in the
With
world.
that being
In
said,
my
Riley
in my
McQuillan
big
with the
mouth.
$5 Canadian super chat. What about map improvements like the city or more unique bases or underwater bases or even points of interest, cool little Easter eggs? I don't think you're going to see that in this game. We kind of were holding out for MOA Island, and then they pretty much slashed those when like it was officially confirmed that MOA Island was not coming in either of the title updates this year. That was officially confirmed by the devs. So, oh, yeah. Okay, so I was wrong. Master Chief, you were right. That was even in Call of Duty. The Honey Badger uses the 300 blackout rounds.
Yeah. Well, I just typed. I'm pretty sure in the game it's an SMG. Unless I'm wrong. I don't know. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Caleb Garner with the $5 super chat. The Honey Badger is chambered in 300 AAC blackout. Damn, man,
So
y'all know your stuff.
these must be middle Americans. God bless you all. Save me. Save me. I'm behind the Iron Curtain. Save me.
Yeah, so and that's the thing too is like I mean, I don't know. I've played a lot of Escape from Tarkov and I honestly feel it's sort of unfair to try to compare. But when you have it now, and for anybody else in chat that has ever played Escape from Tarkov, everything in that game is mechanically correct when it comes
Yeah,
to
it feels really good.
the amount of different ammo types and different ammo calibers that are in Escape from Tarkov is unbelievable. And like for instance, how all these games balance stuff on console is beyond me. So like for instance, in this game, you have an M4 and just for the life of me, you have two weapons that shoot 5.56. In reality, if they have like obviously a different barrel lengths what might increase accuracy and stuff like that, but if they're both shooting 5.56, they should technically both do the same amount of damage if they're both shooting just generic 5.56. Escape from Tarkov is the same way. Yeah, some like you can mod a gun out however you want, but the gun it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. Obviously, you have recoil and ergonomics and stuff like that. But when it comes to the actual damage that the bullet does, that's based off of the ammo caliber and the ammo type. You know, you have FMJ, you have armor piercing, you have different types of ammo that do different things, have more penetration. Which, like I said, Escape from Tarkov got it so perfect. Like it's balanced. Yes, there are things that probably need to be adjusted, but the way the ballistics and stuff work in that game, and then you compare it to like this game where you have guns in the game that don't even have the right caliber of ammo in them. And everything's broken down. Like I know they do it to simplify the system, but being the fact that it's like you go over and you get you get AR ammo. You get AR ammo, but you have 7.62, you have 5.56, you have all these different types of ammo, but it's just generically classified into AR ammo. That bugs the crap out of me. You know, and especially by playing games like Escape from Tarkov and then you play stuff like this, it's like, man,
Yeah.
could you have possibly cut any more corners with that? But
I don't know. Is it cutting corners, or do they just either not have the talent, not have the engine backing them up with what they want to make, or do they just have bad management, or is this just the game they want to make? Do they want to push it more towards this arcade fantasy world,
yeah,
which makes no sense?
yeah, I don't know.
So,
Let me kind of
scroll
scroll.
scroll up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got a couple things here with and some super chats. So Damar Hall says, I know fans of SCP are gonna love that the new gas mask coming will be compatible with the existing ballistic helmets in Breakpoint and recreate some MTF units in there. Yeah, there's been a lot of people that have been really excited about that.
you got a dono from Riley.
Yep, no, I'm getting to it.
All
And
right.
then Sucker Punch, G Money, what are your thoughts on mod support for Breakpoint and our future Ghost Recon games?
Yeah, I said 100%.
Uh,
100%. They'll never open it up, but of course, at the very least for PC should be open for the modding community all the time.
Yep. Corbin Compton, I appreciate the $4.99 super chat. He didn't have anything to say, but I definitely appreciate the contribution to the channel. And scrolling down,
Orvacho, what's
Riley
up,
with
bro?
the $5 Canadian super chat. Would you rather pay for future DLC like the older Battlefield did with its premium, which they had to make, or wait like this and get less and less, or less for less? See, I would be afraid that we would get this same amount of content and have to pay.
Yeah.
That's what I would be concerned about, you know? So,
Well, I'll be honest. I thought year two was going to be a paid DLC with MOA Island. I looked at the massive entertainment model, and I know Ubisoft usually replicates a lot of the things they do. So I saw what Massive did with Warlords of New York. And to me, I thought, okay, that's what they're going to do at MOA Island. Even if it was a canceled raid, they're going to get MOA Island out so they can charge a premium for it and get people to kind of play a second half of the game because MOA Island looked like it was very big. So as far as with their track record, and this is what confuses me about what they're doing moving forward. Why would anybody put hope in the fact that a DLC for money would be worth it if this is what we're getting, which is seems just they seem out of touch. So, am I going to pay for an out of touch DLC? You bet you bet your ass I am, because I'm stupid. But the point the point is that it's like the majority of people should be looking at what Ubisoft is doing and saying, okay, they're on point. They're not giving us the best because I understand the game's a year and a half old, but they're giving us, what makes sense. And when you look at this update with the teammate experience and AI characters who are going to give shoot abilities that nobody cared for or asked for or wants, it makes you think, yo, do I even want to pay $30 for a DLC that might just be the same old thing? So you might want to wait for a new game and hope that they build something from the ground up and get it right this time, rather than trying to build on a game that's its foundation is just built in sand.
yeah. So, real couple things here from the chat. Day Zero Gaming saying MOA Island wasn't the canceled raid. The canceled raid island is further located southeast off the map. So basically, the one that we kind of did the go into the mini
Yeah,
map
yeah.
and go over the top of.
Whatever. I mean, that makes it even worse because MOA Island is not hidden. So what have they been doing this entire time?
Yeah.
That makes it.
It's been
It would.
literally sitting there teased
Yeah.
since day. They even teased that when they revealed the game, and I've talked about
Yes.
this in multiple videos, where the devs sat down on the couch and were like, we're talking about expanding the archipelago, in future DLCs and stuff like that, adding islands and stuff, and you'll even see a little bit of that at the start of the game, kind of what the direction we're going. And there's a massive island just off the coast of Aroa that's in your TAC map. That for some reason your TAC map has clouds even though there's no clouds anywhere else. Or just I understand why they did it, but just humor me.
Yeah.
And here we are, a year and a half plus, and still no MOA Island.
Yeah, it would have made sense, or at least in my head, it makes more sense that MOA Island was the raid island. I don't know if day zero. I don't know if you can confirm that or if that's your assumption, because we've seen that area as well, but it makes more sense that it was MOA. It doesn't make sense either way. It just doesn't make sense that MOA Island is the one that we can see, and yet nothing has come of it.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Also, Custer Plays say, why can't raids be in such a way that the objective is to hunt and kill human targets instead of goddamn drones and titans? I hear
Yeah.
you, bro. I talked to like what Operator Drewski was talking about on some of those, like having big things where you had to do multiple objectives, basically similar to how the raid is, but have it where, okay, you need to go and take out, multiple radio towers before you go in and go to the main base and, try to capture the HVT, and if there's all sorts of things they could have done with that to make it more kind of grounded in realism. And then before we get too much farther, Caleb Garner with the $10 super chat, much love, bro, says, surprisingly, the same round can act very differently based on barrel length. A 5.5 GR 5.56 out of a 20-inch can punch through armor plates, but won't with a 16-inch. This man knows his stuff. But
Yeah,
but I'm just like generically talking about like the difference between how like Breakpoint and Wildlands, for instance, their ballistics work. If anybody's in here played Escape from Tarkov and how that works with, and that's the thing too is you are right with that, because there are some, like for instance, barrels will add velocity, like some of the barrels and stuff in Escape from Tarkov, but it's just with all of the different ammo types that are in that game compared to like all of these like so-called arcade shooters, all of their weapon balancing is just the individual weapon does a certain amount of damage. They don't even take into consideration that it's the round doing the work. It's not the gun, but that's neither here nor there. And then also Nigel King with the $9.99 super chat says, what gun would you like to see? What gun would you guys like to see? For me, it's the AK AR hybrid, either the CMMG Mutant or the ARAK 21. Both use 7.62 by 51. I don't even think there's any 7.62 by 51 in Breakpoint. The guns might be in there, but I've talked about this a number of times. It's simple. But the ACR, the original, like even if you want to go back to when it was before it was the ACR, when it was the Magpul Masada, back when they built that to be a versatile weapon. So I would love to see that version of it in a game where you could build it out to shoot 5.56 or you could build it out to shoot 7.62, because it was fully capable of that. That was the whole selling point behind the Magpul Masada back years ago when it was on future weapons. Was, all right, you're going to go behind enemy lines over in the Middle East. So, all right, well, let's build this thing out to shoot 7.62, which is the round that the enemy shoots. So you have no trace of, 5.56 NATO laying around, but I've always been a sucker for the ACR. It was my favorite weapon in Ghost Recon Wildlands, Ghost Recon Future Soldier. And it's just non-existent in Breakpoint. So that's what I like to see.
As someone who's not a gun nut, I know that we should get away, or Ubisoft should move towards creating a gunsmith where all of these variants can be built within the gunsmith instead of people waiting for a variant to come out because the gunsmith is so limited.
Agreed.
So for all of you guys who know all these different types of modifications, which I don't, I would like to see Ubisoft really buckle down with its Gunsmith. So you don't have to wait for 5 versions of the M4. You could just build the version you want within the Gunsmith. That's what I would like to see moving forward. Because for me, I never really play the game and I'm like, this M4 doesn't suit my taste because it doesn't have A, B, or C. Because I'm not really up on weapons like that and how these weapon systems are decked out and trimmed out like a lot of you are. But I'd like to see Ubisoft move towards a system and a gunsmith system to which they could quench your guys' thirst in really putting together the weapon platform you want.
Yeah. And then also Caleb Garner with another $5 super chat. How do I highlight names? If you're on PC, you just at and start typing their name. If you're on mobile, I don't think you can unless you literally type it identical to what the person's name is. And then let me see, where was this? Somebody said something. Cerberus. Or no, was the chances MOA Island is being worked on by a small group of people, but it's also taking time on it. Who knows? They did
Yeah,
confirm that it wasn't coming this year.
I,
And then
I don't doubt it
yeah,
for
and then
year three
could
because
be.
I don't think we're getting anything. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll
And then
see.
Andrew Buck says it's stupid because I think MOA Island is still in the new trailer that came out today at the very end, right when you see the text come up. And I actually just hopped over and checked this out. It's just like the overhead view of like a map, and you can you can clearly see it in the foreground where like the camera pans back over the top of MOA Island, and you see it for just like a brief second, and it's like it's physically there. You can technically, if you glitch the game or whatever, you can land on it. It's not like it's just a texture. You can physically step on it and stand on it. There's just, it's sort of like a placeholder. There's nothing there. There's no textures. I mean, there is textures, but there's no foliage. There's no buildings. There's no people. There's no roads, no nothing. It's just a giant deserted island. But they hinted that there was going to be DLC coming. That's the only one that's like physically there. I don't think they were talking all that just for the raid island, because that was probably already both of the raid islands. If that's what those were, those were already considered. A map expansion would have been perfect for MOA Island. And like I said, here we are over a year and a half later, and it's still sitting there grinning at us with a sarcastic grin, like, ha ha, you can't come here. So I don't know. Also, Damar Hall says, to your friend talking about the gunsmithing for Ghost Recon and wanting to see a more diverse
Whoa,
system
whoa,
of it.
whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not the friend. I'm the G Money Mozart.
Yes. See a more diverse system of it. So he wants he want it similar to Tarkov question mark.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just responded to him in chat because I know we can't get to everybody. Otherwise, it'd be cutting you off and you'd be cutting me off. So I'm trying to type it out. But I mean, yeah, for the little bit that I've played Tarkov and that I've seen, it's extensive. And if a small team building it out in Unity can do this, it just further solidifies my belief that it's not that Ubisoft can't do it. It's just that they don't want to. They don't want to push this game towards the quote unquote military tactical shooter. They want the more arcade style. They want you looking for colorful loot. They want you opening treasure chests. They want you to find the blossoming tree. They want you to go into the raid and fight the big bad machine so you could feel like the hero at the end when you parachute out of a volcano with lava flowing behind you. It's like, like they want to make these games that this genre doesn't fit into. So they say the hell of it, we'll just push this game into a new genre. And that's why you have a Frankenstein that makes no sense. Well, when we see something like Breakpoint, and I'm hoping that they got the message with Breakpoint, and moving forward, they'll realize, look, this is a job. Your job right now is to make Ghost Recon the best Ghost Recon it could be, not the best Ghost Recon you want it to be, because you're trying to make money. And if you want to make money with Ghost Recon, you have to tailor it towards its audience. And its audience wants a military tactical shooter, a squad based military tactical shooter.
Yeah, they were talking about the volcano and stuff. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see sharks with freaking laser beams on their freaking heads.
That's MOA Island's update. Shh. I
Oh
thought you were
no.
under NDA for that, bro. You're gonna get in trouble.
It's sharks with laser beams on their heads at MOA Island. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I think we kind of went off on a tangent here talking about some different stuff, but
Well. The thing is, we had so much to talk about that we like. How long is this going now?
hour and
We're like
51
two.
minutes.
Yeah, we're like 2 hours in. So obviously, we went through everything, and now we're talking about mechanics because people donate and ask questions and everything. But I mean, we talked about all the cosmetics. We talked about the main component, which is leveling up your teammates and the mechanics that they have. And I ranted about how its mechanics already in the game and that it was an easy job and well, what we really want are the order wheel to be changed and yada yada yada. We went through everything and now here we are again. 2 hours into the podcast, still flowing, people still loving it,
Yeah.
answering questions.
Yeah, and
This is what it's all about.
we still have 230 people in here.
Love it. I love it.
So, Quint Ahab, if they do another Ghost Recon, they will probably just reboot it. Hopefully, I honestly
That,
think that
that's what I want.
what's the terminology that you use?
Retcon.
Retcon. We need a retcon Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I've talked
Yeah,
about
like
this a
yeah,
couple times.
retcon the
Where
story. Just make something new in the Clancy, a new team. Bring it back to pre-origins and just make a completely new story.
yeah, see, I would be okay with I would be okay with that. But on the other hand, and like I said, I don't want to sound with like a broken record for those of you guys that have been following my channel. Um, but I would like to see a game that take it back a few years. I don't want no future. I don't want future soldier tech because there was some of the stuff in Future Soldier was even like it was more grounded than what's in this game.
Yeah,
But
I like the nitty-gritty combat. I do.
right, I
I
would
have to
like to
admit it.
see like take it back into technology. It wouldn't have to be set in that exact time period, but take it back to technology of like the late 2000s, so like 2000 to 2010, right around in that time period, and have it be something that attaches itself to the lore that Ghost Recon already has.
Ooh,
Like
big dono from Executioner. Big
Executioner with
dono.
the $20.99. Like I said, I believe that's Canadian. G Money, the helicopter that you were talking about is called the Boeing CH-47 Chinook.
Oh, okay, sweet,
The
sweet.
Boeing CH-47 Chinook is an American twin-engine tandem rotor heavy lift helicopter. That's the one where I swear I see that thing pop up on my YouTube channel like once or twice a month, where it has that helicopter like the very back ramp is sitting on like the side of a cliff loading in like military personnel, and that dude's
Yeah,
just holding it right there, like
yeah,
hovering it
I
off the
remember that
side of the
video.
cliff for like minutes.
Yo, shout out to you, Executioner, not
Yeah,
only for the
huge shout
info,
out,
but
man.
for that's a huge
Appreciate the
dono,
dono.
brother.
But yeah, like something like that. And like I said, there's so much, and I'm a super nerd when it comes to the Ghost Recon lore. But real quick before I continue, Custer Places. All right, guys, have a good night. I really enjoyed this. I
Yo,
appreciate you
Custer,
tuning
later,
in,
brother.
man. Appreciate you tuning in, man. One of the legends of the Ghost Recon community. Some of those gameplays, if you guys have not seen them, you need to go check them out because they are quite enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
Um,
check out Custer, check out Day Zero. Brian Beeb Gaming, I think he does PvP. Check him out. So
yeah.
we definitely have some
And
Ghost
even
Recon.
like what he said there too, bro. I want boots on the ground. I don't like all these crazy drones. More like breach missions and actual warfare. Yes, yes. And I like I said, I would be a huge fan of, and I've said it time and time again. I would like to see Hunter Team come back, whether
Yeah,
that be under Sergeant or whatever you call him, Mr. Ferguson, or the new guy Andrew Ross, but have something that I can latch onto because I know there's a bunch of people out there that like really enjoy the Ghost Recon lore, with Scott Mitchell and like John Kozak and all these other guys and stuff. But give me something that's just not fabricated out of thin air again, because like Wildlands did it. Other than the few, obviously you had the Sam Fisher mission, you had the Scott Mitchell mission where you kind of met John Kozak when he just started. He had just kind of became a ghost, but like give me something that they don't just well, let's create something new out of thin air so we don't have to worry about all the lore that we just laid down for the last 20 years. Like, I want to see something that kind of attaches itself to something that they've already kind of laid out when it comes to lore. Because they pulled Wildlands out of thin air, which Wildlands was a decent game. They pulled this whole Breakpoint thing out of thin air. Like, all the characters and everything. Like, Nomad wasn't a thing before Wildlands. He was not in the lore anywhere. You know, I want to see them pull something from Ghost Recon's past.
Yeah.
Even if it's just the
Well,
characters. It doesn't have to be anything else. Just the characters themselves would be enough for me to kind of latch onto. But I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to something new. I just want, they have so much lore that they just, like, they don't use it. They just let it go to rot on the wayside. So I don't know. I could go on an entire rant on that. Jay Plays says, no G, I watched the video and it was intense. Close range battles because you can't see through the brush.
now he's talking about Arma.
Oh, okay. Then the napalm.
Yeah, so the new Arma DLC he's talking about. But let's see. As far as everything covered today, I think, oh man, we slept, dude. We slept. Not only did we get information for the teammate experience, excuse me, we finally got some information on major bug fixes.
Ooh,
One,
yeah.
one that affects me personally that I have been communicating back and forth with Ubisoft back since like December, and my ticket was basically just not canceled, but just put on hold. Like, yo, we can't fix it right now. When we figure it out, we figure it out.
Mm.
Which is they've fixed the strike designator disappearing from players' inventories. Now, I hope that means if it already disappeared, it will reappear and then not disappear again. But I hope that's fixed.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that are being fixed that are major, quote unquote, major issues, like permanent blood stains on some pieces of cosmetic gear, the strike designator. There are other ones, Paladin 9 pants. I also had the blood tint, crashing and things like that, and also the night vision on the AI teammates. Finally, I
Mm.
believe they will finally put their night vision up and
Yes,
down.
there is night vision animations for the AI teammates. If you have night vision goggles equipped on your AI teammates, when you flip down your night vision, they will also flip down their night vision, and you will see the animation for that. It doesn't change anything from a gameplay standpoint, but that little aesthetic is there. Huge shout out to Fox Zero Tactical that I can't tell you how many times I've seen that in the
Yeah.
feedback section
Not
of the Ghost
not
Recon Discord.
not only does he talk about, I think that, but he also talks about it in photo mode. So let's see if it's fixed in photo mode as well.
Yeah, see that's where
I think that was on you as well.
yeah, they wanted, and I would be okay with this too. They want the ability to flip down the NVGs in photo mode, but not have it have the green tint as if you have them on, and be able to take a photo just as an aesthetic photo of your character wearing NVGs.
Well,
Because the
even in
second you flip them down in photo mode, it's NVG vision.
unless it's unless I remember wrong or it's fixed, I believe if you put your NVGs down in the game and then you go into photo mode, they're back on top of your head. I think that was the
Oh,
issue.
got you. That would make
And
sense.
and yeah, so then you have the night vision filter, but then your freaking night vision and not on your eyes.
Yeah, true. Also,
So
real quick,
so
Jason Van
they have some
Horn
issues there.
with the $5 super chat says remastered or remake Ghost Recons. That's my opinion. It'd be cool though. See, that's the thing. Like we were talking about, if you go back too far, you'd have to just redo it because a lot of those games didn't age well. And this might be sad for some people, but I honestly feel like if you're gonna remaster it, you can't go any further back than Future Soldier.
Even
Because
I
even
don't I think it's
Graw would
pointless.
be question. It'd be close.
It's pointless. They don't need to be remastered. Wildlands looks great. Future Soldier looks great. I think what
I
you
feel
can
like they might
do,
hurt Future Soldier more by trying to redo it.
yeah, they might.
Unless
I,
they redid it and it looked better, had more stable frame rates, and had you could play the multiplayer again, which because I'm pretty sure they shut that down.
Penguin, what up, bro?
That would be cool.
But what the hell was I
So
gonna
many good
say? I
times
forgot.
playing the PvP on that game, and I think somebody
Oh,
said that they
oh,
shut that down.
this is what I was gonna say. For people who want remasters, quote unquote remasters, especially of the old games, you can take the story if it's good enough. I didn't go through the entirety of those old Advanced Warfighter games. Even the first one, I have it on Uplay. I did not go through the entire thing. I'm not sure how in depth the story could possibly be.
I
If there's
personally
some
didn't.
type of
Yeah, I didn't like the story. I would
yeah,
prefer the
so
co-op missions that were like pulled from the old Ghost Recon. Like the OG Ghost Recon missions were in Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 as a co-op mission. Like they remade them and pulled them into that game. Because there was multiple missions from like the original Ghost Recon and Ghost Recon 2 and like Island Thunder that they brought into Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 as co-op missions that you could play with friends. So, but even that game, like I said, just the mechanics of it, I think would be too dated for people to play.
yeah, most
You'd
definitely.
have to wear it
Most
with some
definitely.
serious nostalgia glasses.
As far as Brian Brian Beebe Gaming, or is it BB? In your opinion, why do you think this game has so many problems with bugs and little things? So,
Short
you
dev
this
cycle.
this I don't even not only is it a poor dev cycle, this goes back to how I think Ubisoft as a whole, the how Ubisoft management, the publisher, controls all of their development teams. In that I think not only do these teams create these games, but when you're looking at teams like Montreal, Paris, Quebec, they have all of these teams building out systems in their engines. And with that engine, all of the teams then build their games out. So they're building things that can be used for all of their games, not specifically for one. And so, like I said before, that's why you play Assassin's Creed Odyssey and it has colorful loot. And then they flipped it with Breakpoint and they made it more in line where they could, I believe, streamline their game development with Assassin's Creed and Ghost Recon, or at least they wanted to where the same way Assassin's Creed had Origins, Odyssey, and now Valhalla, boom, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, all successful. I believe the Wildlands process was very, very different. And what Paris wanted to do was get on the same page with Montreal and be able to utilize these systems in these new systems that were built out in Anvil Next 2.0 and be able to bang out Ghost Recon games in the same manner. So they utilize all of these systems within this engine and they build out their respectful games, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's optimized for each game. So you get a game that could be messy. Plus, like A Squad said, dude, it was rushed in 2.5 years. What? I mean, we kind of we tease and as consumers and people who don't make games, we're like, oh, this is terrible. But yo, they really made a game in 2.5 years. Like they built this out in 2.5 years. Yeah, it's broken as hell. Yeah, the story was bad. Yeah, the idea of tiered loot was a mistake and robots and all of that. But I mean, how are you not gonna have a buggy ass game when you flip it in 2 years, 2.5 years? So I
Yeah,
mean,
and I
that's what I think.
if you're gonna make a third person tactical military esque shooter, I don't know. I wouldn't even know if I'd qualify this as that.
No, it's not. It's not.
But Wildlands story, the way that system worked, was the
Baby.
proper way to do it. I don't need long cutscenes with dialogue choices and all that bullshit in a
Boom, which
tactical shooter.
leads back to my point, right? Look at Odyssey, look at Origins, look at Valhalla, and now look at Breakpoint. All the same. Cutscenes, it's all the same shit. And that's they built that system out. And then the game designers and the developers, they take these mechanics and then they create the assets for it. But it's the same thing. The underlying code is all the same. That's why when you're playing Odyssey or you're playing Valhalla, you go and you talk to somebody and it's a generic cutscene with options that feel like they were trying to make The Witcher 3. And that doesn't make sense for Breakpoint, but that's why I sit here and I say, yo, dude, they're trying to streamline their process, but it doesn't work for Ghost Recon.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with the wildland system. Like, for instance, if you escape, you captured a high value target, you take him to Bowman, and then you had a 30 to 40 second cutscene where you got to know what that person, the intel they had, and then on to your next thing. You got the information from Bowman, and that was it. I don't need to have to go down through and make all these dialogue choices. Like, that's not the story that I want. If
Yeah,
it's a third person tactical shooter, I want my time in the field, like actually out doing missions, to be like that's where I get the story from, not from these long cutscenes that completely pull me out of the game. With, like for instance, some of the ones you had to do with Skell, with Jay Skell. Oh my lord! Like no, I don't want to know any of this stuff. This doesn't have anything to do with like the game that I want it to be. Third
and
person military
that's the
tactical
main
shooter.
story.
Yeah, third person military tactical shooter. I don't want, minute and a half, 2 minute cutscenes where I got to go through like, 20 or 25 dialogue choices just to get to the end of the conversation and then worry, I was just trying to get through this quick. Did I miss something that I really needed to know? Like, no, I don't.
Yeah,
That's not.
no, no,
That
yeah.
type of story system does not belong in a Ghost Recon game. And like you said, they did it to streamline all their games so they could, pump them out faster because it's the same system, which I personally, and that's why I haven't really played a whole lot of the Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed Valhalla might be a fantastic game to a lot of people, but I will be honest when I say I have not hardcore played an Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which came out in 13? 2013, I think. Whenever the Xbox One and PS3 launched was when they released that game because it was a cross-gen game. That's the last one that I like fully played through because and whether or not you guys agree with this or not, Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Valhalla are not Assassin's Creed games. Those are what I don't know what you would classify that as, but if it didn't have Assassin's Creed
they're
in front
this
of it, you
next
would never
gen.
know anyway.
Yeah, no, and
Especially
that
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Especially Assassin's Creed Odyssey. If you took Assassin's Creed off of that and just named it something in like Roman times or whatever, that's what it would have been. It wouldn't have made any difference if they would have had Assassin's Creed in front of it or not.
and that's what they try to do with Ghost Recon, and to a degree, I'm glad it flopped, and I'm glad we're going through this pain because hopefully that means they have to make a little U-turn and keep Ghost Recon as Ghost Recon.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's true. In Assassin's Creed, in I didn't play Origins, I played Odyssey. I enjoyed it as a game. It's not an Assassin's Creed game. I enjoyed it as a game, but you were fighting mythical creatures. In Valhalla, you're finding Excalibur armor and Thor's hammer, and now you're there's like druids and magic. They just basically were so influenced by The Witcher 3 that the entirety of Ubisoft just want to make Witcher 3 games regardless of the game they develop.
Yep.
So, we're lucky that Nomad didn't come upon somebody who cast a spell on him, but we were damn near close with some of those side missions.
Well, what like with the Wildlands DLC? What was the one with we had like for a long time with like the witches cabins and
Oh, I don't
stuff
even
in
know.
Wildlands? But like, yeah, I don't know. That's why like for instance, Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, and I'll be honest, like even like from Assassin's Creed 3 forward, just didn't do it for me. Like Assassin's Creed 3 was like I feel like Assassin's Creed, the way it was built, the original game was set in, oh my lord, the Crusades, like way back in like the was it the 1300s or something in the Crusades, and then Assassin's Creed 2 during like the Renaissance, and then all the way up to where I felt as if like an Assassin's Creed 3 that didn't belong, just like from a timeline perspective. And I know we're getting on a completely different topic here, but Assassin's Creed,
Hey guys, welcome to the Assassin's
well,
Creed
like I didn't like the fact that
podcast. Halfway in.
we got to a time period where all these people had guns.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
muskets, but they were guns, and you were just like this assassin. Like it just felt more right, like Assassin's Creed 1 in way back then, and then the Renaissance and all that stuff. Like I could go back and like boot up Assassin's Creed 2 and play through it and feel like I was like 20 years old again, 19 years old again. Just
Yo,
that
Brian,
game.
before he bounces,
Yeah.
he's
Brian,
heading
was
out.
it BB? Is that what it was?
I think it's Bebe.
Bebe, Brian Bebe Gaming. Shout out to the
Bebe.
podcast. I'm heading out and get some dinner with my girl. Have a good one. Let me know if y'all ever need a hand or help with anything. True that. True that.
No doubt, brother. Have a good one.
Have a drink for me while you're out.
Later, brother.
But yeah, I could even like I said, I could go on an entire tangent with that too. Like I just feel like
No,
they
yeah,
wanted to move
it's
their games in a
understandable.
new direction, which Valhalla has a huge fan base. Like Odyssey had a huge fan base. The game sold well. A lot
Yeah,
of people loved it.
Assassin's Creed, they succeeded at turning Assassin's Creed into exactly what they wanted.
Yep.
But the thing with Assassin's Creed, which is very weird, is that when you're dealing with a game that deals with swords and things like that, it's kind of, I think it's easier to toe the line between, okay, we have a legit game with assassins and sword fighting, but we're kind of gonna, fade it into this mythical, magical world a little bit, and we'll see how people take it. And so they started with Origins, they completely flipped it. They moved into Odyssey, now Valhalla, and it was a success. They successfully transformed that franchise. But you can't do that with military men and weapons and guns. Like
Yeah,
there's
no,
just,
yeah.
when you're in the middle of the forsaken forest in the middle of Aroa, and the girl is underneath the tree and she says,
Yeah.
"Hello, dear boy, can you help me find my magical wand?" And you're like, "What? What the?" Like it's just some of the shit in Breakpoint was so wild that you gotta wonder if these writers were on shrooms while they were writing this shit, because there's no way they knew they were writing for Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It should made no sense. The one where I remember the one, it might have been the one of the first missions I did, the orange missions, the side missions, and then I never did any more. Where the lady was like, "They're killing the forest, the trees, or blah blah blah," and then you went to this area where I think it was a wolf base, and there were some like tree chopping machines or whatnot. I don't even remember what the hell you did. And then I went back to her, and then at the end of that, I was like, what the hell did I just do?"
Yeah.
And then like everything in the game, that was very early in the game for me. And then everything came to fruition, and I was like, holy shit, this game's a mess. So I mean, we'll see. I think we have a couple of years before the next iteration of this game. Maybe we'll get, I don't know if I want to say lucky, but maybe we'll get a DLC in year 3 if they want to try to make some revenue, or maybe they'll just pump some stuff in the store for the next year or two and try to make money that way until the next game comes out. If we're lucky to get a next game, and I know a lot of people might not think it's luck considering where the game is now, but at the end of the day, all my criticism, all my bitching and moaning, I still love this game. I still love this franchise. I still love this genre. I just want a really good Ghost Recon game because, in my humble opinion, Ubisoft Paris still make clean games. And when I say clean, I mean when I get in game and I move around with my character, it feels really good. And
Yeah.
not a lot of a lot of third person games, they might nail some mechanics, but when the character moves like shit, I get turned off very quickly. So when I see how they made Breakpoint with the transitions between all the animations, and I know they can build out worlds, and I know they can make games, I sit here and I'm like, damn man, if they just put 100% into, not this BS that we got in Breakpoint, I think we could get a really good game that a lot of us would get behind and love. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of us did with Wildlands, and we expected a lot more with Breakpoint, and we were just disappointed. So hopefully moving forward, they could redeem themselves, and we can get a home run next time, or at least close to it.
Yep. So, well, honestly, as much as I don't want to do this, I think that is a good stopping point. We've been going
It's
here
so
for
hard
2 hours
to
and
say
16 minutes.
goodbye
Yeah, 2 hours and
to
16
G Money
minutes.
and A Squad.
But I feel like at this point we're just kind of rambling, and which is
Yeah,
fun,
yeah,
which
yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoy, just kind of engaging with the chat and answering
Yeah, I love
questions
it.
and
Shout
chilling.
out to all 200 plus of you that stopped by this podcast. Shout out to all of you who donated. Much love to everybody who contributed in chat. Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend himself, A Squad Gaming.
Yeah, we've been holding over 200 viewers since 8:25.
Yeah, man, love
Over
you all.
almost 2 hours. That's insane. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end it tonight. I think we went pretty in depth with all the new stuff coming. Hopefully we will get like the full patch notes soon. Obviously, at the end of the trailer, you saw that the DLC releases on May 25th. So we're going to get the patch notes before then. We might be doing another tactical roundtable after we get the full patch notes. And then we do have one planned for the Friday after the DLC comes out. So that would be like May 28th, I think, to just kind of go over, the DLC and stuff like that. So do stay tuned for all of that. But that is where we're going to wrap it up. Any closing statements, Mr. Sir G Money?
I think I basically just said it. At the end of the day, no matter how much I bitch and moan, I just want a great Ghost Recon game. And I do respect everybody who works in the industry. I wish I could do 1/100th of what these guys do, whether it's in C++ or whatever programming languages they use, or learning an engine. I dabbled around in Unreal Engine for a few weeks and I already gave up. I think I should get back to it because I did say I wanted to learn Unreal. I would like to be able to understand more what it takes to go through these little things and sit there for 1 year at a time, 2 years, 3 years, and get an engine under my belt to really be more versed in this conversation when I am criticizing, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? But at the end of the day, it's just my personality. It's all love. We can't always get what we want, but on May 25th, guess what I'm going to be doing? After all this complaining, I'll be playing the game. So
Yep, me too.
it is what it is.
Yeah, me too. Maybe Monday night, just kind of like in preparation. Maybe we'll do like a Wildland stream just for fun. Because Monday is actually A Squad Gaming's birthday. So maybe we'll do a birthday stream on Monday and then do a Breakpoint teammate thing, jiggy, whatever, on Tuesday. And by teammate thing, it's playing with G Money without our AI teammates with some of the new character customization and new weapons.
It's like, hey guys, so in this new update, we won't be playing it because we can't, because the way it's designed. But hey, you get to watch us anyway.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do something like that.
I'm down. I think not even maybe. I think we should just set the date right now. Monday Wildland stream for your boy. Happy birthday. And then Tuesday we should just hang out and see what's up.
Let's just take the week off. That'd be nice. But
game all week.
Yep. So, all right, without continuing the ramble, like, we're going to end it there, guys. And like I said, stay tuned to like my community tab, Twitter, G Money's Twitter and stuff like that. If we're going to do another one of these, we will definitely let you guys know ahead of time.
And, at G Money Mozart, go follow Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Love you all. Have a good night.
Let's see. Let's do this real quick. Hold on. For those of you guys that are in here still that may not be subscribed to the man, the myth, the legend, G Money Mozart, go over and drop this man a sub over here. I'm gonna spam it in here.
There we go.
Go over and check out his channel. He's another, obviously, Ghost Recon YouTuber that is very passionate about this game. That's why, obviously, we show our frustrations. If we don't show the frustrations, the devs thinks that everything's great, which everything's not great. We get new DLCs. We give them as constructive as we can be at this point.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why, I preface it at the, well, I guess you're supposed to do that first. So wrong word.
Yeah.
But I do, at the end of the day, I do say, I'm trying to be as constructive as possible, and I'm passionate. I think we all are, because, bro, we're gamers and we love this shit. So
Roughneck 2 already subbed to Gamer1337.
Shout out to you, Roughneck. Shout out to everybody who's a sub. Yo, Penguin, what up, brother? Yo, good video before, Penguin. I dropped some knowledge of what you were talking about before. You might have missed it. You weren't here yet. But yeah, shout out to all of you guys. And Shout out to you, A Squad, like always.
Yep. So, all right, guys, everybody be safe. Everybody be smart. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which everything's game then. So, we'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.